Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Wasn't that a nice bit of intro? What is good, Nomad Pack, Internet peoples, nomads, etc.? Major Nomad here, back at it again, except this time, like I mentioned today, this Friday, we're gonna go into the reaction today, and I hope you enjoyed the video I made last night as well. Well, yesterday, not completely last night, even though it's close to that, but we're going to be reacting to a bit of different stuff today, whether it's a bit of politics, body cams, news going on in the world, a bunch of interesting, fun, and cool stuff, especially things that we definitely need to be aware of, especially with the current politics, because the government and the administration especially made a big little oof and a big little disappointing moves as of recently, especially with Donald Trump. And well, with President Trump, I will say, oof, he is definitely not in a good mood as of recently, especially today, which, you know, I voted for the guy 3 times, and I will say good, because I've been a bit disappointed with your current things as of recently with your policies and politics. You have been making a big freaking some problems in office, and me and a lot of people who are riding the head and who isn't blindly loyal to the politics, the government, president, etc. in general, are not too happy with you, and I am definitely going to be reacting to some of that stuff as well. And especially with the GOP and the GDP, on both sides of the government, of course, but especially the side I voted for. You guys have made yourself look very dumb, awful, and a very lackluster performance. And let me tell you, as if you haven't already know, we aren't too happy with you. And I can't wait to break down and unpack some of that dumpster fire, as well as what's recently been going on too, because I was good. You know, this is perfect timing I'm doing on Friday because a lot of new things just happened and I wanted to cover it. Today, I was thinking about doing it Tuesday. However, not too many interesting things happened the past on Tuesday or even around the weekend. This is kind of perfect timing for me to dive into this and react. And for you guys to see what the hell's been going on if you haven't been paying attention. I know politics are not everyone's cup of tea and whatnot. That's why I diversify. And don't worry, we're going to bring on or unpack and react a lot of the recent YouTube internet drama as well in general. But we're going to start off with this because this has been a bit of a dumpster fire for the GOP. It's just very... What is going the hell on? What is the matter with freaking Trump as of recently? Is someone pulling some strings behind the scenes, or is it all his accord? I know not everything is to his full accord and decisions. He always gets second opinions and whatnot. However, something just don't add up with Trump right now. Let me, I forgot to fix this. Hold on, my filters. Seems like it's going a little louder than it should be. I would just want to touch a good bass. A good bass line. Yeah, that's good. At least I think. Dun, dun, 2, 3. And perfect. Okay. Alright. Enough beating around the bush. Let us unpack this. And of course, for the people that don't watch the full stream and see the VODs, be sure to like and subscribe and comment if you have the patience to sit through the VOD, and let me know what you're thinking as well. What? Man. Just even, I'm so disappointed right now. You have no idea. It's kind of not only goofy, but it's kind of pathetic at this point. Let me see here. There we... Oh, no, not that one. Nah. There we go. That's what I wanted. Getting used to this new thing. Right here. Perfect. Look at this. If you haven't already known, CBS covered this. President Trump called the Supreme Court's ruling 6 out of 3 ruling against tariffs deeply disappointed and said the justices who voted the majority are a disgrace to our nation. Yeah, well, you haven't been serving the country too well yourself. You have taken with Doge, Elon Musk help, and it was a big help to Elon Musk. Love him, hate him, I definitely admire this. Uncovering a lot of the waste that the American taxpayers was wasting on a bunch of BS, like a few, almost $50 million on a stupid Sesame Street kid program or cartoon in the Middle East. We wasted that, and you couldn't even give... Hell, even during COVID and the inflation and whatnot, Biden... I'm not a big fan of Biden, but Biden was nice enough to give people a little bit of cash to show appreciation for going to the trouble of voting for you, and you decided to either give that away or spend it on something that... I'm sure that you spend it on a lot of good things, but do we really need to spend so much money on the freaking military? Like, hell, you could have put some of that into getting the Medicare and whatnot a bit more affordable. Or, you know, if you didn't want to give people money at the final decision, even though you shouldn't have said that in the first place if you wasn't completely 1,000% up for that, You should have at least invested into other things like making older people's and whatnot, Social Security and whatnot cheaper, as well as making the economy more stable. And hell, you just captured Maduro in Venezuela, as well as captured the oil as well indirectly, and now you have control of more oil, even though it's not the best compared to Saudi Arabia's and the other parts of the Middle East, but still a good stockpile. And luckily the oil prices have gone down. However, still some things are lackluster in the country. So, Mr. President, maybe you should have thought about that. Maybe that's what it was too. And also, I'm kind of glad because you've been making things more expensive while overcharging on the tariffs. And as much as I am pro-trade and whatnot, we got to be smarter of how much extra money we could get from other countries when they trade with us. When you mark it up by extra 3 to 4 extra percent, obviously some countries are going to not be happy about that and look at that in a bad way. And like it or not, we do need a lot of those resources, especially from China, because China still makes pretty much a majority of the stuff we use. So you should be smarter about trying to get an extra percent so we could come out ahead. I mean, you're the writer in the book of the art of the deal, so you should know better. However, yeah, that was kind of a red flag right there. As well as deals with other countries, which would still keep us ahead of the things where we still have an advantage, but not too much of a huge advantage, where it would look like we're slapping one another in the face like it's Looney Tunes. Of course, if you want to make a statement for a temporary time, like a couple trade thing, sure, if you know what I'm saying. However, when you push too much, obviously it's going to reflect bad onto you when you push too much. That way, that's not how you do business. And I'm not a big business tycoon or expert, but I do know a thing or two, and I'll tell you this. It definitely doesn't help the situation when you come in like such a hothead and pump out your chest like he made fun of before, and he's been doing that not only with Iran, which we will be covering as well, but other circumstances. All right, I digress. Let's get into this.
Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long. That I can assure you. The Democrats on the court.
He is, so you could tell his ego is really hurt by that, which is kind of funny. And this is taking somebody who voted for him 3 times as like, my guy. Take the L like a man and move on from that and try to come up with a better deal so it doesn't make it look like you're kind of being a douchebag about it and you actually want to make better deals where we still get an advantage, but we're not freaking being a bully about it, because that's not how you do business. That's a good way for people to want to take their business elsewhere.
I'm thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. The Supreme Court's...
Buddy is really mad, man. He is super angry. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this was a day ago.
Barack Obama said
CBS again, and I don't typically like the mainstream, even though we'll cover a little more. However, at least with the clips, it does give a whole thing, but we're going to get a whole picture in the main video of this. Just a second, though. Nomads. In due time, patience.
that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth.
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, if the president can declassify anything that he wants to,
Well,
so if you
maybe I'll
want to
get him
make
out
an
of trouble.
announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know Barack Obama.
Yeah, it's funny he says that now, but he actually did something real similar as of last night. In a second, though, I'll show you. This is kind of an embarrassing thing here because he just kind of outed himself. And the other thing about this is that this is a whole big distraction. Hold on. That he did this. It's like, buddy, you were just talking smack about Obama doing, and, you know, I'm not really a fan of Obama. At first, I thought cool and everything, even though I didn't vote for him. I wasn't old enough, especially the first time. But you're talking smack right there. You're kind of in a glass, as they say, never throw stones while behind a glass house or in a glass house, because he just did that right now. Contradicted himself. Let me find it. His recent tweets. There you go. Top of the thing. Appreciate the patience. Right here. Based on tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon (UAP), and unidentified flying objects (UFOs), and any and all other information connected to these high, complex, but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. You were just talking smack about Obama doing it, but now with this current issue with the war in Iran, especially, there's more updates to that we will be talking about. And I just hope they know what they're doing, because the Iranian area and the different freaking landscape in that is definitely it's definitely very concerning for the soldiers that have to be boots on the ground there. It might, from what experts have said, and I can kind of agree with this too, I just don't want another Vietnam in our hands, especially when we have to be attack dogs on behalf of others. Bunch of nonsense in this whole war in region. We should be handling it a bit better, but the war complex is a big corruption issue. I just hope the money is worth it. That's all I gotta say, and the trouble that it's worth. I would rather it not be a thing and we could just be getting along nicely, but the Middle East is such a... what's the word? It's such a complex and high... a lot of emotions and or issues going on there. A lot of trouble than it's worth. It's just a bunch of things in general that is making this a whole complex, I guess, issue, and anger towards one another that makes this very concerning, to say the least, and makes it... I just know, I almost forgot to mention, I just know this is going to make the economy and that go down a little more, and think inflation in general is going to start skyrocketing, especially if this takes more than a couple months. That's all I gotta say. And with the current mistakes that the president and both sides of the government, but mainly the GOP, is doing right now, after Trump's term, unless the Democrat Party picks in their people and they are stupider than stupid like Kamala Harris is, it's going to look like a 60-40 chance that the Republicans aren't going to reclaim power, especially with these midterms. First going to be the midterms. It's a toss-up 70-30 in my opinion, or 65-35, that the Republicans don't keep control, especially with a lot of people on both sides of the same coin in the middle or center left, and even centered to a little more right, are a bit disappointed, so they're probably not going to even bother voting, while the people on the left side is just going to vote for their candidate, and that's just going to cause a whole lot of issues and whatnot. So Trump and his political administration have only themselves to blame, and especially the stupid old heads in there that are causing issues like Mitch McConnell. Like this, for example. Little things like this can have far-reaching consequences. Look at this. This man blocking the Save the Act. Mitch McConnell needs to be removed for being mentally yeah, just like Biden, mentally incompetent. Yeah. Damn, my tongue today. Missed the words. That's putting it mildly, too. I think he's downright brain damaged at this point. This guy should have been replaced by Ted Cruz years ago. I wanted Ted Cruz to be the House Speaker of the House or Senate, not this fool. I don't know why they still keep him around. There should be term limits at this point for everybody in that, not only governor and mayor, but also Congress and Senate. You can barely hear this dude speak. Look at his face. Looking like his brain is fried so bad. He only said a couple words and now he can't even speak. This dude needs to be at a nursing home at this point, or retiring at home and having his caretaker take care of him. When there's signs of this and he can't pass a test like the president was doing, like a IQ test or so, then that means they could early have a vote to early make him retire or so, and then replace him with somebody else. They should do something like that, in my opinion. Look at this. And he didn't pass that. That obviously doesn't do too good for you. It's very disappointing. Of course it doesn't. Let's see what else we got going on before. I was going to look through some there, but I'll get to that one later.
Republicans in...
Oh, not that one.
The breaking news.
Here we go. Let's react to this.
Tonight, a potential...
CBS is covering a lot as of recently on TikTok. I guess W them. Yeah, and I agree with this comment. Trump said no new wars. Well, he was capping about that one. Somebody must have pulled some strings and say, hey, we gave you this money, so how about you do this for us, or we're going to give you more issues, and have people call you out on not releasing more of the Epstein files and whatnot, which he had released a bunch. W credit there. However, he didn't release it anymore, and what he released right now definitely doesn't make him look really good as of this point. And that's another big thing that's making people want to not bother to vote, or even turn away from the GOP or whatnot in general, and not want to bother with some of the candidates right there. I just know if J.D. Vance is going to be their number one pick, and Republicans are mostly not going to care too much about that one. Unless the Democrat Party, after the 4-year term, for the president. They don't pick anybody somewhat competent and good with debating. It's not looking good for Vance, I'll tell you that, and I'm not even too sure about Vance. It's probably like a toss-up in general, but I would rather prefer Ron DeSantis over Vance. At least Ron DeSantis knows how to run a good state, and he's been doing good a lot for the people over there, and I definitely got to give credit there. I think if anyone was more qualified, it would be Ron DeSantis.
Military strike on Iran
My
could
2
happen
cents.
as soon as Saturday, according to top national security officials. President Trump has already positioned U.S. warships and fighter jets in the region as nuclear talks continue with Iran. Senior White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe has the...
I wouldn't be surprised if an attack happened around Saturday or Sunday this weekend, because they're already there. That's crazy. I already seen some of this earlier on some clips going on with Iran right now. And this is just the stuff the mainstream news is covering, not even the full picture.
Tony, sources tell CBS News the president hasn't yet made a final decision on whether to strike. Conversations about potential military action are described as fluid and ongoing as the White House weighs the political
This isn't going to go too well.
Escalation. The president has said he would consider strikes if Iran doesn't agree to curb its nuclear weapons program. The Pentagon is moving some personnel temporarily out of the Middle East region over the next 3 days. They're headed primarily to Europe or back here to the U.S. ahead of any potential action or counterattacks by Iran.
All right, and Ed, you mentioned the military assets. What kind of assets are being sent there?
Well, there are usually at least 30 to 40,000 U.S. troops in the region. There are at least 11 warships right now, including the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier in the region. A second carrier group led by the USS Gerald Ford, plus 3 other ships, is en route. 50 U.S. aircraft flew into the region just today. One potential military target is Iran's ballistic missile sites. The Israelis have been raising concerns about the increased development of Iran's missile program since a late December meeting with President Trump. He told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at that meeting he would support Israeli strikes on Iran's ballistic missiles if a nuclear deal can't be reached. Tony?
All right, Ed, thank you very much. In the breaking news tonight, a potential military strike on...
And this is definitely not only with just me, but others are getting fed up with the administration right now making these moves. I just hope he knows what he's doing here, because if he doesn't, a lot of lives are going to end up getting caught in the crossfire and unfortunately getting killed if not only the president, but the people in charge of the military, boots on the ground, and that make bad decisions. I hope this doesn't become another Vietnam 2.0 thing, because even with current technology and that, especially with Iran getting technology sent to, especially for it being experimental for like Russia and China to see how they will combat, because we filled up their proxy war thanks to Biden and Ukraine's freaking nonsense, and still a little bit with Trump, even though at least we're getting money back for that. But I'm wondering what's going on with that money we're getting back from that at least. However, with Russia and China sending their equipment in that to Iran pretty much for nothing or even free of charge, it's definitely going to we're definitely going to feel some pain for that. The soldiers and whatnot, the military are definitely going to feel some pain. It isn't just going to be a one strike and done situation like with the bunker buster thing. I was going to say situation 2, but that whole fiasco is not going to be that easy, especially if they're giving them all this high-tech equipment. I know definitely with Russia sending its stuff, it's definitely feeling a bit petty, and it's like, okay, how about a little payback? Then we're going to send our stuff to Iran and see how you guys like it. Man. It's really not only frustrating, but of course very concerning. I'm wondering where Pakistan also, for people to actually pay attention and see things, I wonder how Pakistan's going to fare with that. Since Iran and Pakistan made a deal to store some of their nuclear materials and whatnot, if they're going to also get involved, or are they just going to still be quiet and be in the background and hoard their stuff? I know if we do actually get close to taking down the leadership in Iran and destabilizing the country, if that'll be their last trump card, and they'll say, at least hit a nuke, fuck it, if we can't have it, nobody can type of situation. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. even if they do get past all the equipment that they've been learning to use from China and Russia's perspective. Remember, even though we spend all this money on the military and we're big, bad, and everything like that, doesn't mean we could still get countered. You'd be surprised we could still get countered with some things. Because I like to think and believe we are the biggest, baddest, is why nobody fucks with us. But then again, when we go into the back of their doorstep with the resources we are only able to bring on our aircraft carriers and whatnot, how are we going to out-counter what they're going to be throwing at us when we're going to their back of the woods, is all I got to say there. Let me see if there's more to this. That's my biggest worry.
President Trump is in Rome, Georgia today, talking about affordability and the economy, a theme he's expected to spotlight again in next week's State of the Union address. Our White House correspondent Liz Landers has more on this and joins us now. So, Liz, as you've been reporting, the president has been frustrated. He's not getting enough credit when it comes to the economy. That's why he went to Georgia to talk
Some of these comments are, you know, decent points, kind of funny, but some of them are a little crazy. But maybe this one has some validity to it. They're going to find a reason to impeach me, so he obviously knows there are reasons. You know, now that I've been catching up and seeing what he's been doing now, especially with the current moves he's making and the mistakes, yeah, he better really do some stuff to outshine with the midterms. He better be sending people a lot of support there. But please make sure we get more competent people in our House and Senate to pass stuff and not a bunch of idiots. The biggest thing you got to do is get rid of the old heads like Mitch McConnell. They're the reasons why the Republican Party, too, one of the big reasons why they're being laughed at and not looked down upon, because you got brain dead idiots like that that's still around and not replaced yet.
about this. What did he say?
Well, today he was focused on
Not for
affordability,
nothing.
the economy. This was also a political visit for him. This is a congressional district that's going to have a special election soon, so kind of several birds with one stone here. He was touting the stock market. He was touting some signature legislation that has also passed recently.
The great big beautiful bill is basically a tax cut bill. And you know, when you hear the fake Democrats talking about it like, oh, the great big beautiful bill, you know, they try and mock it. We put 4 years worth of goodies into that bill, and everybody said it couldn't be done.
The president visited a restaurant there, and then he gave that speech at a steel mill in Georgia. This was his first domestic trip on this issue, talking about affordability in the economy, since he went to Iowa a few weeks ago. But Amna, there was some mixed messaging here today. He goes off on tangents when he gives these speeches sometimes, was talking about
Yeah, and it's one thing when you go off the tangents, you got to make sure you think clearly and make sure you know what you're going to say, which you should already know. But when he gets into his tangents, his ego, I've been noticing, speaks, because sometimes he just beats around the bush and has to constantly repeat a few times, which gets annoying and frustrating. But when he gets on these tangents, sometimes he just says random stuff out of the blue, and you'll know if it's going to be cap or if he's going to do something like the whole no new wars and giving people $5,000 or $2,000, which I'm surprised he can't even do that. Like I said, Biden did it, so why not you? $5,000 to $2,000 to help with inflation, people dealing with the issues with inflation, that some of it's still being around because it takes a bit longer than a few months to restabilize things.
Operation in Venezuela a few weeks ago at the beginning of the year, also talking about a number of grievances on issues where he doesn't think he's getting credit on. So he still has trouble sometimes sticking directly to the messaging.
Well, your reporting has also shown that his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, held a sort of unusual closed-door strategy session this week to talk about messaging for the midterms. What do we know about that?
Yeah, a source who participated in the meeting talked to me about this and said that this was an effort to get Republicans, both inside the administration and outside allies, on the same message and talking about the same priorities. This person said that affordability is the #1 issue right now for the White House going into the midterm election. Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, talked about this. So did James Blair, who is the deputy chief of staff, and then pollster Tony Fabrizio, who's worked with the president for a while. They were among the speakers. And this Republican said that, look, these issues like affordability on energy prices, on housing, on health care, fuel prices, and groceries, those are sort of the main tenets that they're focused on right now. And
Yeah, for sure. And that's one thing you should be taking care of big time first before you go start a whole new fight with another country like Iran. You should be taking care of that first before getting into a whole situation and fiasco there. Like, come on.
this person said, the president has now been in office for more than a year, and there are only so many things that
how time flies. It seems like it was only a few months ago.
At this point, and recognizing that they need to get out there and sell their affordability message to the American public right now. And so this was about that kind of coordination, and also, Amna, I'd add, getting cabinet members out on not the campaign trail per se, but across the country touting these messages.
At the same time, we know Democrats have also sort of landed on affordability as one of their primary messages going into the midterms. What do we know about how effective that'll be?
It probably will be effective based on polling. Look, the White House actually doesn't have bad economic numbers to be touting. The jobs report that came out for January was better than anticipated. Gas prices are dropping in some parts of the country. In Georgia, I was looking at the average price of gas there is $2.71.
Well, that's good, but they could definitely do better.
It has been in the last year. The average Georgia resident is also going to save more than $3,000 on their taxes this year from that signature tax.
I should be trying to get a spot over there, that's for sure. Nomads get my streaming studio and whatnot in Georgia. Beautiful state. That's one of the ones I've been looking at to move to as well. I already have like a top pick, but that wouldn't be bad as a second pick. Especially if I'm close to around, or if I'm actually in the Savannah area. I like the town historic and classy. It has that New Orleans feel, but more nicer, cleaner, and safer than New Orleans. Like, no offense, I like New Orleans, but they gotta fix some stuff over there.
Bill that passed. That's according to the conservative-leaning Tax Foundation. But when you look at the poll numbers of what Americans are actually feeling, Fox News had a poll, found that 59% of Americans disapprove of President Trump's job handling on the economy. 68% say that he's not spending enough time on the economy. So going back to that sort of...
And I agree with that, too. It's definitely shown as some things have been a little cheaper over here and then whatnot. Not to the best. It's like more nickels and dimes at this point than it is like dollar bills. That's what we want to see, not just nickel and dimes. Wow. Investing all the money into stuff that don't really matter, which Trump has campaigned on as well. Yes, you could spend however much on the military, which is okay, fine, I get it, fair enough. But you don't have to spend trillions and trillions on that. You got to spend it on a few other things as well. Even if you don't want to give people, you know, some money for going through the trouble of voting for you, not for nothing. Like I said, I didn't vote for Biden, and I still got money from him. It's like, damn. Throw us a bone somewhere, you know?
Dual messaging that the White House is dealing with between foreign policy and also domestic issues.
Meanwhile, we should underscore it's February.
Yes.
We're talking about strategy sessions for messaging around the midterms in November at the White House. Why? Why is it such a concern for them?
Because the margins are so slim in Congress. Right now, the Republicans only have a 4-seat majority in the House. And historically, a president loses the midterm elections. President Trump experienced that in 2018. Republicans lost 40 House seats in that election, and that also gave Democrats the power to then set into motion some of those impeachment trials, which we know President Trump is already thinking about. He has said in a few
and if he doesn't
to Republicans that you've got to win
play his cards right and start making a little bit better moves and thinking more before acting, that's going to happen big time. So he's got to start buying some favor with the public
right now. And also, if Democrats win control, they can do a number of other things. They could stall other kinds of legislative priorities for the White House and also investigate the Trump administration.
It's our White House correspondent, Liz Landers. Liz, thank you.
Of course.
That's a good breakdown. Now I wanted to cover something else because this is another thing that kind of disappointed me about Trump and people have called out as of recent. The whole situation with ICE in Minnesota. Apparently a lot of ICE have, as of recently from what I heard, ICE have, in Minnesota, most of them have gone and left Minnesota without fully doing more of a cleanup there, which is definitely very disappointing. I get it. It's been a real hot zone with the protesters and whatnot, giving them issues, and then the recent issues with the Renee Good and the Kyle incident as well, that with those protesters dealing with that and the whole fiasco with the ICE situation there. I can understand temporarily taking off and waiting for things to cool down before getting back to work and focusing on other cities like Chicago and whatnot. Luckily, there's been a lot of them in Chicago, which is good. I haven't met many of them yet, but if I do meet them, I wouldn't mind getting a picture, especially with Greg Borvino. I heard he was here. I'm not too sure, but if I see Greg Borvino out on the street, the ICE captain, I wouldn't mind taking a selfie with them. I think he's done a really good job, but they replaced him with Tom Holman as in the meantime when he had to take off and get out of Minnesota to go back to Chicago, and then Tom Holman took over for him, but it didn't seem like too long because now they're pulling out of Minnesota, and they shouldn't make it look like they won the protesters and the whole thing because Trump campaigned on that, and ICE have been very eager to get to work and take care of the illegal immigration incident. They've been finally cracking down more on the H-1B visa scam where a lot of illegal immigrants come on there with the working visa and the H-1B visa and have been taking advantage of that without, paying either the taxes and or coming in through that. And also the marriage fraud, too. Luckily, some of that was uncovered in California, even though they're doing as much as they can, but they're probably more short-staffed than they were in Chicago and whatnot. I imagine a lot of the ICE agents from Minnesota have been going more there than like in Chicago, since most of them have pulled out of Minnesota. Hopefully they take care of that in due time, but then go back to Minnesota and finish the job. Otherwise, this is going to look bad on the president's part. And then he made a statement, I don't know, because the recent shooting with the Kyle guy. I don't know what happened. It's a big situation. He was being vague and commenting very stupid, like he wasn't trying to give a full opinion on it. And a lot of people like myself noticed that and said, Trump, what are you doing being a cowardly for? That's not why people voted for you. And you're going to let that whole situation tarnish your thing and make it win. If you're going to go ahead and do that, of course, no one wants life to be wasted or people to get killed in this situation, even though a lot of the idiot protesters can bring it on themselves and make things get out of control, which you shouldn't be getting involved getting in the middle of ICE taking care of things, arresting and doing their job, because that's going to be very bad on you. And that's not only a crime, it's definitely not worth freaking complicating and damaging and whatnot your life over that kind of stupidity, which people who don't generally know or give a damn about you. If you want the smartest thing if you're really passionate about that, which you really shouldn't be, however, your life, your choice. I may not like it, but hey, it's freedom of speech and I can't say nothing negative about that because I'm very pro freedom of speech. Be smart and do it away from ICE when you protest. Talk shit online and post online is the smartest thing you could do. Or, like another person called it out, do what Ted Lieu does. Like when Pam Bondi and the people on the Senate and the House on the Democrat side were questioning Pam Bondi and really grilling her, which I gotta give credit. She really took a lot of that heat for Trump. Trump really owes her big time for getting herself humiliated when Ted Lieu and the other Democrats were jumping down her throat about the Epstein files that were released. That's how you do it. If you care that much about politics, and I suggest you go ahead and try to run for whatever party you associate with, even the Commie-Crat party, and that's how you fully go after the things you care about and call out the other party which you don't like and go into Congress, House, Senate, mayor, governor, etc. Not trying to get in the middle of law enforcement doing their job, causing issues, throwing stuff at them, and catching felonies and making your life more of a living hell and complicated than it probably already is. Not for nothing. Okay. I digress on that rant. Maybe.
Newsweek has obtained
Ooh, what's this?
internal ICE documents that reveal the details behind a fatal shooting of a third American. On March 15, 2025, federal agents shot and killed 23-year-old Ruben Ray Martinez in South Padre Island in Texas. While local reports documented the shooting, they did not mention ICE's involvement in it. According to an internal report from ICE, agents were assisting local authorities with traffic control after a major crash when Martinez drove towards the controlled area. Agents said Martinez failed to follow verbal commands, slowed down, then accelerated and hit an HSI agent. An agent fired multiple shots through the driver's side window, hitting Martinez. He was
Well, F around and find out. What do you expect after not only running from the cops, trying to run them over? Is this... I think this one was covered before. Is that the guy that tried to run over the one cop? ICE agent in early 2026, and then, or towards the end of 2025, and then had the guns out, and then when he was still trying to gun his car and gun the gas is when they had to shoot him because he wasn't trying to get out the car. It's like, well, what do you expect? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Transported to a local hospital and later pronounced dead. Martinez's family wrote in his obituary that they were deeply saddened and shocked by his death. They also described the 23-year-old as humble, kind, and adventurous. The release of the new details comes amid heightened scrutiny of ICE and how they're handling interactions with the American public. In Minneapolis last month, Renee Good, a mother of three, and Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse, were both fatally shot by ICE agents. California Governor Gavin Newsom, through a spokesperson, told Newsweek that the delay in the details around Martinez's death were deeply concerning. He added that the public may never...
Yeah, he's deeply concerning. I'll tell you what's deeply concerning, allowing fraud and whatnot still going on in your state like it is in Minnesota. That's very deeply concerning. So some could say about him as well, New Scum. I like that name, New Scum. I would give Trump credit there. He's very good with the nicknames against his opponents. It's like, don't be throwing stones while you live in a glass house. And that's very deeply concerning. I gotta give credit to the people that have been going there and pointing out some of the... Luckily, Nick Shirley gave inspiration for that, uncovering a lot of fraud going on there. And there's definitely a lot more fraud, even deeper than Minnesota, probably.
Or know the full extent of DHS's use of force incidents. The Texas Rangers are leading the investigation into Martinez's killing. Multiple agencies, including DHS and local police, have declined to release further information given the investigation. Newsweek has obtained internal ICE documents.
There goes the same with other situations. Let me see here. Maybe we'll touch back on that in a second. There it is. I don't know why it didn't pop up for a second. We'll be reacting to what recently came out here too. Oh, and I just realized since it's 20th, 7 more days to Resident Evil. Not only me, but I hope other people are hyped about that. I know that's besides the point, but okay. Here's Trump's full thing that went on as of recently, covered by Right Side Broadcasting. Shout out to them. I like their news network. Independent. Let's see what all he had to say, because we just got only tidbits on TikTok.
For their strength and wisdom and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, that I can assure you. The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no, no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. You can't knock their loyalty. It's one thing you can do with some of our people. Others think they're being politically correct, which has happened before far too often with certain members of this court, and it's happened so often with this court. What a shame. Having to do with voting in particular, when in fact they're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats, and not that this should have anything at all to do with it. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution.
He's got a point about that. However, if it's about the justices going against his tariffs thing, he is so seething right now. You could tell he's trying to hold back a bit, but he is like petty seething right now. I can't help but to say ha to that one, as well as we need more money pumped back into our economy, but something tells me, just like when we took Venezuela, we're not reaping too much of the benefits of that. A couple other countries are supposedly our friends and allies are in that government, and I'm not too happy about that, because, like, can we make sure we're fully taken care of before we start being angels and helping everybody? And we really think about our moves before we just go ahead and strike first without having more prepared plans, and, you know, instead of just throwing missiles around and then boots on the ground. However that plan is, I'm sure that's how popular, like, as of recently and a little bit before then, like the beginning of Iraq and Afghanistan, a lot of it was shoot the missiles first, then send in the boots team, you know, boots on the ground, you know, soften them up a bit. But with Iran's terrain, I think it's going to be a bit more complicated than that. That's just my theory and 2 cents and opinion, though. Don't take it with a grain of salt if you wish. That's just how I see it. But the Republicans need to start being a little more grateful and start getting together and stop acting freaking stupid and mixed and all over the place. Because at least, as much as I don't like the Democrats, they are more organized when coming together, even if they don't like each other, compared to the Republicans. Like, y'all gotta start coming together and stop acting as stupid and getting the old heads who are damn near brain damaged and should be on retirement, like what we all said about Biden, coming together and having better proposals and plans to have the whole country reap the benefits, and then start filling in on a bunch of stuff that doesn't affect us. That was the whole thing what we complained about the Democrats when it came to their trading in foreign policy. Right now, this foreign policy isn't doing that much better. Yes, we're taking a lot of money from these tariffs, even though Trump is going a little too extreme about it, my opinion. And that's kind of biting us a little bit in the ass, because we still got to pay a little bit extra for foreign goods, especially people that like French alcohol or French products and whatnot, as well as stuff from Italy and Germany and all that stuff that we get. Oh, and China too. Because like it or not, we still have a bunch of stuff made in China, and we haven't found other appropriate counters for that, because China's like, oh no, you're not going to get 60% from me and want me to smile in the face. Your economy and dollars are still good, but we're improving on the BRICS currency, and we're not going to rely too much on your economy. You know, speaking of which, I'm surprised China was nice enough to even say, you know what, I thought they would take the risk and say, fuck no, we're not selling TikTok. But they actually sold us TikTok, even though they hold a good portion of it in the stock. While America controls the American side, they have full control and hold the majority, but China still has a stock in that. I'm surprised they even agreed to that. That was actually smart for them. Even though if they did have to get rid of it, I'm sure it wouldn't be that big of a... It would be a big dent, but not that huge of a dent where it would force... How should I say? Force a big portion of money and whatnot to drop high down on the stock. It would be a big dent, but not that huge of a dent. My 2 cents. Because other countries would say, no, we still want to keep it anyway, like Canada.
It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think. It's a small movement. I won by millions of votes. We won in a landslide. With all the cheating that went on, there was a lot of it, but we still won in a landslide. Too big to rig. But these people are obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. They're very loud. And I think certain justices are afraid of that. They don't want to do the right thing. They're afraid of it.
It seems like you kind of are too, a little bit, especially the recent transgressions and fiasco that was going on with Minnesota and ICE. You didn't want to specifically forward bluntly come out and still support ICE, and gave more of a at least happy medium answer, saying we don't want no death. It was definitely a tragedy and it got out of control. We want to make sure that changes. We want to make sure we can have better understanding and or have better reactions to ICE going into these sanctuary blue shithole states and cleaning out all of this situation with the illegal immigrants damaging the country and the states and whatnot. However, Trump didn't even think to say that. That's, you know, he's talking smack about the justices. However, they're saying they're afraid, maybe, but it seems like you kind of are too, my friend. I have to call you out on it. I'm sorry. It's not coming off too well for you.
It is an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic national security, and also, I would say, just for our country itself, so important, because we're doing so well as a country. We've never done so well. The good news is that there are methods, practices, statutes, and authorities, as recognized by the entire court in this terrible decision, and also as recognized by Congress, which they refer to, that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs available to me as President of the United States. And in actuality, I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses because I wanted to do, and it's very important, I wanted to be very well behaved because I wanted to do anything, I didn't want to do anything that would affect the decision of the court, because I understand the court. I understand how they are very easily swayed. I want to be a good boy. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. Our stock market has just recently broken 50,000 on the Dow, and simultaneously, and even more amazingly, broken 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought upon our landslide election victory could not be attained. Think of that. Nobody thought it was possible to do it within 4 years, and we did it in 1 year. They said you'll never be able, you'll go back and you read the geniuses, read their statements, all of the Nobel Prize winners in economics. They said, no, you couldn't do it in 4 years. Well, we didn't do it in 4 years. We did it in 1 year. We broke every record in the book, and we're continuing to do so. Tariffs have likewise been used to end 5 of the 8 wars that I settled. I settled 8 wars, whether you like it or not, including...
And you're about to indirectly, too, or directly start a whole new one. What happened to not starting it after that? Still haven't solved that issue with Ukraine as well. I hate to say it. This would all stop. I know we need some money back, but this would all stop if we stop giving Ukraine a bunch of stuff. There's one way to stop it. If they don't want to stop it amicably, then we could just cut support for Zelensky, because Zelensky's the big doer of this one and causing all these issues and not wanting to officially come to the table and settle on things. Putin, of course, hasn't been helping it as well. But Zelensky, he couldn't have stopped while he was ahead. He got too cocky because Biden was being like a sugar daddy and giving him all that stuff. But with Trump selling it to him, because like I said, at least we're getting money back for that, he hasn't fully stopped that one, and he's about to start a whole new one with Iran. Like I said, I hope this doesn't really cost up the economy, because hopefully people got nice investments and nest eggs for backup money if the economy starts shooting back up and being more costly. Or, I mean, going down and it being more costly with things.
India, Pakistan, big ones, nuclear, could have been nuclear. Prime Minister of Pakistan said yesterday at the great meeting that we had, the Peace Board, he said yesterday that President Trump could have saved 35 million lives by getting us to stop fighting. They were getting ready to do some bad things. But they've given us great national security, these tariffs have. And together with our strong borders, reduced fentanyl coming into our country by 30%. When I use them as a penalty against countries illegally sending this poison into our country to poison our youth. All of those tariffs remain. They all remain. I don't know if you know that or not. They all remain. We're still getting them, and we will after the decision. I guess there's nobody left to appeal to. But again, those 3 people, such respect. I've had a lot of respect for them anyway, but such great respect. But other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives, great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money, and we'll be a lot stronger for it. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We'll continue to do so. To show you how ridiculous the opinion is, however, the court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1. Can't charge $1. I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country.
I'm kind of glad that's one good thing he did, because why the fuck we need pennies? Even nickels are questionable. How about bring back the 50 cents and the $1 set? Bring that back instead.
Not $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries, certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1.
We have got to the point where...
Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little two-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything. Think of that. How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore. We want you out of here. But if I want to charge them $10, I can't do that. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. But it doesn't matter because we have very powerful alternatives that have been approved by this decision. You know, they've been approved by the decision for those that thought they had us. And they're saying that I have the absolute right to license, but not the right to charge a license fee. So think of that. I have the right to license, which is a very powerful word. In many ways, license is more powerful than tariffs. In fact, I was thinking about using it. But they came up with the idea that I can license, just like the people that were opposing me told them to do, but not the right to charge a license fee. Think of that. Who ever heard of such a thing? What license has ever been issued without the right to charge a fee? You get a license, you charge a fee. It's automatic, but not with this court. But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, to destroy foreign countries, but a much more powerful right than many people ever thought we even had, but not the right to charge a fee. How crazy is that? Our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. And it was a dead country 1.5 years ago under an incompetent president.
That's very true. But you're making mistakes
yourself,
yourself, man. Don't go down that rabbit hole.
That I should have gone the first time, but I read the language. I'm very good at reading language, and it read our way 100%. But now I'll go the way I could have gone originally, which is even stronger than our original choice. As Justice Kavanaugh, whose stock has gone so well, you have to see, I'm so proud of him, wrote in his dissent, although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. So, think of that. The decision might not substantially constrain. And it doesn't, he's right. In fact, I can charge much more than I was charging. So I'm going to just start. Although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That's because numerous other federal statutes, which is so true, authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Even more tariffs, actually. Those statutes include, think of that, those statutes include, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, Section 232. All of these things I know so well. The Trade Act of 1974, Sections 122, 201, 301. And the Tariff Act of 1930, Section 338, all clear. But it's a little bit longer process. I thought I'd make things simple, but they didn't let us do that. I would like to thank Justice Kavanaugh for frankly, his genius and his great ability. Very proud of that appointment. In actuality, while I am sure that they did not mean to do so, the Supreme Court's decision today made a president's ability to both regulate trade and impose tariffs more powerful and more crystal clear rather than less. I don't think they meant that. I'm sure they didn't. It's terrible. And to think that the Democrats who oppose this only because they want to go the opposite way, they'd like to pack the court. They want to put on 21 people. They want to pack the court, pack the Supreme Court. Maybe they should do it. Maybe they would be better off if they did it. They want to pack the court They want to do anything to hurt our country. There will no longer be any doubt, and the income coming in.
I wonder too, I'm not too sure. I just reminded me, if that whole government shutdown happened, I don't know if it's happening now or it happened a bit earlier, like yesterday or so, but wasn't there supposed to be a government shutdown? I wonder if the Democrats changed their minds after all of this. It's probably made them feel so happy that this happened there, even though I get both sides of the argument. And, you know, if you charge tariffs, hopefully we reap on the benefits, the people, not just the politicians and whatnot. I digress to that again. If they change their mind after seeing that, I wonder. It's kind of interesting how this whole thing really stopped them for getting into more, I guess, situations there, and the whole government shutdown either happening or not happening. Yeah, I didn't hear too much about it. I just know they were planning on trying to do it again. They probably changed their mind because of this, because it's mainly just to get a little bit petty and get back at Trump.
And the protection of our companies and country will actually
Even though
increase because of this.
With the current thing with the Epstein files and Iran and everything, it's like, well, you're kind of asking to get smacked back at this point.
Decision. I don't think the court meant that, but it's the way it is. Based on long-standing law and hundreds of victories, and even, as I was pointed out before, even thousands of victories over the years, to the contrary, the Supreme Court did not overrule tariffs. They merely overruled a particular use of IEEPA tariffs. And essentially, it's used to get a fee. I can do anything I want with IEEPA, anything. I just can't charge anybody for it. I can license, I just can't charge them. It's ridiculous, but it's okay because we have other ways, numerous other ways. The ability to block, embargo, restrict, license, or impose any other condition on a foreign country's ability to conduct trade with the United States under IEEPA has been fully confirmed by this decision. So now there's no doubt, because, you know, there were a lot of questions about tariffs because no president was smart enough to use them to protect our country from those countries and businesses that were ripping us off. You took a look at the deficits that we had with some of these countries. It was disgraceful what they got away with for many, many decades. But now we know, because this decision affirms all those things that some people weren't sure about. In order to protect, and it says so, in order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past period of a year under the various tariff authorities. So we can use other of the statutes, other of the tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed.
I edited one of my own images.
Or effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs. They're existing, they're there. Remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies.
And we do need a good advantage with that. However, when you go too far with it, like I said, you're just making it worse for everybody. And you're making them feel some type of way. You got to be smarter. You get the extra percent. Someone who wrote The Art of the Deal and is one of the brilliant deal negotiators. You should know better.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. And I say quite simply, which I've said for a long time, make America great again. And interestingly, we've already made it great, so I don't have to use that. But I don't think we'll ever give up on MAGA. MAGA is always going to be with us. If you have a few questions, you can let us know. But just to end, so we're going forward, we will be able to take in more money.
At least he's answering questions compared to that, so I give credit there. One thing he's got to focus on, too, and I'll definitely cover more of that, is Trump needs to show more support for the First and Second Amendment, especially because this thing that went on with the recent Virginia situation of them trying to mess and ban a lot of different people owning and enjoying their Second Amendment rights and owning certain firearms for their collection, but idiots brought it upon themselves for voting for stupid Democrats there that are messing with that. Trump's got to start showing support there and telling the Supreme Court to crack down on that, as well as the other states, too, that's been messing with it. But Virginia's going crazy with that, which is very despicable, and they want to also mess with people wanting to hunt. That is a big fuck you and communist type of policies there, messing with hunting. Okay, I'm not much of a hunter in that myself, but I like the hobby. It's respectable, and has grace to it, and it's a strenuous hobby, and you want to fuck with that. Very bad move on Virginia's part, and hopefully Trump cracks more down on that, or tells the Supreme Court to crack down on that and put those commie-crats in their place saying, what the hell are you doing? Enough. You know?
There'll no longer be doubt, because there was always doubt. I know the people that brought the lawsuit, and they're sleazebags, major sleazebags, but I know them, and they're foreign country centric. They were sending things into our country, and the people representing them knew full well, but they were sending things into our country, and they were beneficial to other countries, but very, very bad for us. And I stopped it, and we'll just keep it going. So we have a totally firm decision now, and I don't think the court meant it, because the court doesn't show great spirit toward our country, in my opinion. A lot of bad decisions, but there are usually ways around it. This is something we could have done, as Justice Kavanaugh said, we could have done this originally, but we're doing it now, and the numbers could be far greater than the hundreds of billions we've already taken in. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'm very curious. You've spoken about
in the red.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Justice Thomas and Alito, as you know, are the most conservative constitutional justices. Do you think that you'll get to appoint 2 more justices later this term with similar ideologies? And what type of vetting process will they go through to ensure they uphold?
I don't know, but they're great justices. That's all I can say. And I hope they're going to be around a long time. I hope they're going to stay healthy. They're great people. They're great. And Justice Alito, too, to add to the group. These are great men.
Right.
With a great love of our country and a great understanding of the law.
Mr. President, are you going to ask Congress to take additional action on tariffs now?
No, I don't need to. It's already been approved. I mean, I would ask Congress and probably get it. When people look at the real numbers, and you look at hundreds of billions of dollars that have come into our country. Yesterday, I was at a steel plant, as you know, and I went to great place, great plant, great, wonderful people. And they were telling me, I said to them, you were there, a lot of the press in this room. Of course, I don't think this plane's big enough to take the press in this room, but a lot of the press right here. We were in Georgia. And I said to the owner, I made a speech at a factory. They make steel products. And I said, how are you? Nice to meet you. How's business? President, I'd love to kiss you. This is a very powerful man. I don't want to be kissed by that man, but a very powerful, strong man. He's been in the steel business for many years. His father started it. And he said, sir, I want to kiss you. I said, why? He said, because we were down to working 1 hour a week, and then you came in and imposed tariffs, and all of that foreign junk that they were dropping into our country stopped. And we're now going to double shifts, 7 days a week, and we may be very soon going to 24 hours around the clock, almost 7 days a week. He said, sir, I want to kiss you so badly. And I said, no, thank you. But you know what? He just to finalize it, he said, oh, this is a great place in Georgia. He said, all up and down the highway, same exact answer, sir. We're all going out of business. We're going to go bankrupt. We're all going out of business. And now every one of us are thriving, and we're hiring people like we haven't. He said, like I've never, and he's been in business for, I think, 45 years, like we've never hired before. That's because of tariffs. And we're going to keep it going the same way. And you're going to start to see the results in a year from now when all those factories start that are under construction right now. You see all the construction numbers are so good. Those construction workers are building factories that are going to be open, including not only AI, which is big, but car plants coming in from Canada, who ripped us off for 30% of our market. Mexico ripped us off for a big portion. Over the years, they've taken our market. They've taken our car.
And, you know, it's about time he cracked down on that. I gotta give credit there. Keep cracking down on that kind of stuff and don't waste your time with petty things that could easily be a better percent for us, like the goods that come from other countries that you don't have to go so extreme about, in my opinion. Still, we get a good slight advantage where we still reap the rewards, but we don't go too crazy over the goods we trade with.
Because nobody's standing in this position, the position I have as President of the United States, had the insight, the courage, well, I don't know what it is, to charge tariffs. You can make your product outside, you can put our people out of business, you can put everybody on the unemployment rolls. But if you're going to make a car in some other country, you're going to pay a 15, 20, 30% tariff. And those things would have never happened. We wouldn't have lost our business. Same thing with, as an example, Taiwan. Taiwan came in, they stole our chip business. They make chips. For 30 years longer, they made chip, and they put our companies. Intel would be now the largest company. I saved Intel. I literally saved it at the beginning of this administration. And now all those companies in Taiwan are building factories in Arizona, Texas, and various other places because they don't want to pay tariffs. They're all pouring into the United States. But just like that great patriot said yesterday, sir, what you've done, nobody thought was possible. And Steve Moore, a highly respected economist, came into my office yesterday. He said, you've done something nobody's ever done. 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics said we would right now be in a recession. And you said, no, we're going to have a booming country. We're going to have a booming country. You were right. All 22 were wrong, and you were right. This country is booming, and it's booming because of the election on November 5th, and it's booming for another reason. It's booming because of tariffs. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You said ahead of this decision that if the Supreme Court
please,
ruled...
go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. What will you say to foreign nations who seek to renegotiate their deals? And what did you mean a moment ago when you said that the Supreme Court has been swayed by foreign interests?
Well, I think that foreign interests are represented by people that I believe have undue influence. They have a lot of influence over the Supreme Court, whether it's through fear or respect or friendships, I don't know. But I know some of the people that were involved on the other side, and I don't like them. I think they're real slime balls. And got to do what's right for the country. You got to do what's right for the Constitution. That's why I respect so much Justice Thomas and Alito, Kavanaugh, because they not only dissented, their dissent is so strong. When you read their dissent, you know, a lot of times you'll read a dissent and it's like, well, you don't know, it could go either way. There's no other way. The good news is, it's like Justice Kavanaugh said, very strongly said, you have other ways you can go. You don't have to go that way. You can go other way. There are numerous other ways you can go. And frankly, this should have been done by presidents many years ago. They allowed our country to be eaten alive. We lost 50% of our car business. We used to make cars. We made all the cars. And then Mexico came, Canada came, Japan and Germany. But they're all coming back now. They're all coming back at record levels. No, you please. I'm not talking to you. I don't talk to CNN. It's fake news.
Oh man, he's so with CNN. I kind of see it though. I admire when he talks smack. He's like, "Oh, where are you from?" Where he always asks that thing, and he gives him such a dig. "Oh, you're from CNN?" Oh, of course, fake news either. Someone entertains her. He just cuts them off. It's hilarious. Oh man, even though Trump is kind of irritated. Well, not really irritated, kind of annoyed me and disappointed me in some of the things as of recent with the stuff going on. I do give credit there. He always is with the digs with the news media. He is like real petty. That one is understandable. I gotta give credit there. Yeah, CNN are very biased. What I like about this news station, it's kind of more unbiased, even though they are a little more on the Republican side, similar to Fox, but they are not blind loyalty. You don't want to have blind loyalty to potential administrations and presidents that make bad moves. You got to be able to call out the good and the bad moves too. That's how I see it, which is why, as much as I voted for him 3 times, I'm not blindly loyal, as you know, and I'm calling him out on some of the moves he's made there and the mistakes with the administration. And I got more I want to touch on as well, but in due time.
Talking to you, I'm talking. I don't talk to CNN. It's fake news. Go ahead.
Mr. President, yesterday you made the case that the economy is the hottest it's been in a long time.
You're fake news.
Report beat expectations, CPI report beat expectation, real wages are up. What would you tell Americans who are worried that this decision will kind of throw the economy that you have projected going in the right direction at a very rapid pace off track?
Well, thank you for the question. And I will say this. We really are at a very important point. I've been waiting for this decision so long. They could have made this decision a long time ago. Not complex. They're wrong on it. It's a ridiculous decision. But they should have released this a long time ago. We waited months. And that gave uncertainty. Now we have certainty. And I think you're going to see the country get much stronger because of it. Look, we were ripped off by almost every country in the world. If you look at the surpluses, almost every country in the world that did business with us, our people were stupid. And I blame presidents for it because they're ultimately the leader. We were being ripped off by almost every single country in the world, had some massive surpluses. China had hundreds of billions of dollars in surpluses with the United States. They rebuilt China. They rebuilt the army. We built China's army by allowing that to happen. I have a great relationship with President Xi, but he respects our country now. Now, what we've done, I charged China a 20% tariff as a penalty for sending fentanyl in. And that was 20 times more than they could make by selling fentanyl. And I said, at some point you're going to say, and they have reduced it. Fentanyl is down by more than 30% coming into our country. Part of that is our strong border. We have a strong border now. But thank you. Thank you for your question.
Mr. President, sir, you warned once in a social media post that if the Supreme Court did this, shot down your tariffs, the U.S. would be, quote, financially defenseless. Are we financially defenseless right now?
No, because we're doing something in a different way. We're doing something in a very powerful way. And we're using things that some people thought we should have used in the first place. But it's more complicated. It's a little more complicated. The process takes a little more
loopholes,
time.
I get it.
The end result is going to get us more money. And I think it's going to be great. Yeah, please. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. So,
Peter,
since Liberation Day, there's about $175 billion in tariff revenue that is now in limbo. Do you have to refund $175 billion?
Yeah, that's a good question. WB Peter, he definitely likes Trump, but he asks a lot of the important questions that a lot of these other reporters and that don't ask. I was about to touch on that now that you reminded me. What about the other $175 billion that's in limbo? What are you going to do with that, and how are you going to recover that? Good question. Very high IQ question.
Thank you.
That is now in limbo. $175 billion in tariff revenue that is now in limbo. Do you have to refund $175 billion?
Think of it, Peter. Very fair question. They take months and months to write an opinion, and they don't even discuss that point. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, not millions, hundreds of billions of dollars. And so I said, well, what happens to all the money that we took in? It wasn't discussed. Wouldn't you think they would have put one sentence in there saying that keep the money or don't keep the money, right? I guess it has to get litigated for the next 2 years. So they write this terrible defect.
Okay, I gotta say that is really fucking stupid. We took in it so we can't keep the money, we gotta give it back? Or it's just gonna stay in limbo until then, like it's frozen? Now that is really fucking stupid there. It's like, well, we already have it, so might as well do something with the Supreme Court, which I'm disappointed there too. Should say, okay, we're going to take at least half of this money and you better distribute it to these programs or this kind of thing with the people or certain things within the government, like medical stuff, you know, schools and whatnot. Because they could use that, but we got to do something better with the schools so it's not a big indoctrination camp, especially the colleges. And, you know, make sure SSI is better funded too, like for the older people and the people with problems and whatnot. At least that, if you ain't going to give people the money like Biden did.
Decision, totally defective. It's almost like not written by smart people. And what they do, they don't even talk about that. Your question is very basic. That was the first question I asked also to make you feel good. They said, what about all the money that we've taken in? Sir, they don't discuss that. How crazy is that?
You're so adorable.
Ah.
Are you saying that you don't plan to honor refunds for companies that file for them?
I just told you the answer, right? I told you the answer. It's not discussed. We'll end up being in court for the next 5 years.
If it's that long to discuss it, then that's very stupid. Then I guess it's going to stay in limbo.
When you are talking about the relationship with countries that you have sought trade deals with, do you anticipate that they will seek to renegotiate those? What do you say to them? And do you view this as a potential undermining power for your
We're
negotiations?
going straight ahead with 10% straight across the board, which was the absolute right to do. And that's taking place. That's a lot of money coming into our country. And then during that period of about 5 months, we are doing the various investigations necessary to put fair tariffs or tariffs, period, on other countries. So we're doing that period, but we're immediately instituting the...
I think if you went the more fair side, which is 10 to 15%, hopefully 15, but 10%, then that's going to gain favor where it's very hard for the Supreme Court to argue that, and it would make them look bad. So if Trump arted the deal smart, if he went with that, that would be better. So here's hoping he really thinks about it. Or else that's going to be another big oof on his part.
10% provision, which we're allowed to do. And in the end, I think we'll take in more money than we've taken in before. Dollars out of tariff money. We intend to, out of tariff money, because just so you understand, we have tariffs. We just have them in a different way. And now they've been confirmed by the Supreme Court of the United States. So there's no longer that question out there about tariffs. And we'll be taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. And countries that have treated us badly will have to pay a price for treating us badly. And countries that have been good to us will be treated very well. We just left the top person in a place called Vietnam, just left my office. Great gentleman, strong and smart. He said, you know, I think this means you're allowed to charge us more tariffs than before. And Canada said to Jameson, I might want to say it, Jameson, but Canada said, I hope you win this decision, because if you don't win, you'll actually be allowed to charge us, with a little additional work, higher tariffs. Jameson, you want to comment on that?
Yes, sir. So to the president's point, we have a lot of tools out there. We have Section 122, which will be implemented today. It will be signed today and implemented very shortly. We have Section 301 investigations, which are incredibly legally durable, where we can investigate and address unfair trading practices that have led to our huge trade deficit. And so you can look forward in the coming days and weeks to seeing all of that come out, and we're going to keep continuity in the program. We're going to keep addressing this so that the deficit can keep going down. That's the trend it has, and we can make America great again.
No.
Several of Republicans in Congress have supported this decision by the Supreme Court, and Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, has called you a wannabe king. Why wouldn't
him a low IQ?
But why wouldn't
he? Doesn't even know. And I watched him the other day interview. The guy doesn't even know what a tariff is.
But there's been bipartisan criticism.
No, not bipartisan.
Of the tariffs.
Excuse me.
There's several
A few
Republicans
people.
have said that.
Yeah,
But
a
why
few people.
wouldn't you just work with Congress to come up with a plan?
I don't have to
push tariffs.
I have
through?
the right to do tariffs, and I've always had the right to do tariffs, and it's all been approved by Congress. So there's no reason to do it. All we're doing is we're going through a little bit more complicated process, not complicated very much, but a little more complicated than what we had. We'll be able to take in tariffs, more tariffs. And the Congress people, and the Congress...
Down the Canadian tariffs last week.
Yeah,
There's been votes in the Senate against it.
Yeah, because we lost 2 Republicans or 3 Republicans because they're not good Republicans. What you don't say...
He's got a point on that one. They must have been not that great if they couldn't get back into the House and Congress and whatnot and Senate. They probably weren't that great. He's got a point there. Republicans need to start adapting to what and whatnot if they want to get more people that are either a little bit in the middle or on the center left side to switch sides. Because if they don't, because when Trump's out of office, the Republican Party, like last time, will end up dying out again, and there will be only one party until independents or so take over, and that's the scary part. Not enough independents right now. They need to really start organizing, what I've been suggesting, because I'm a little more on that party. They need to start reorganizing and trying to compete more and try to get, backing so they can be a more stronger party, because I'm not holding a lot of faith with the Republicans right now. So far with Trump, until as of recently, they were staying strong and doing good. But people like Mitch McConnell and the bad old Republicans and the old guard aren't making it too appealing to newer people. You got to lock in the new generation. That's one thing Trump did for the Republican Party, was lock in the new generation of voters and whatnot. But people are losing faith for that, and not even Donald Trump is having a good stronghold with that as he did before. It's a hell of a thing.
That we got 215 votes.
You need 218 for something to pass.
Yeah, sure we do. We might have lost 3 votes. And what was the score on the Republican side? 215 to 3, right? But you don't say that. We have great unity. There's great unity in the Republican Party, and I hope everyone's going to vote Republican, because otherwise you won't have a country left, because these people have been destroying. They are destroying our country. Please.
He's got a point there.
The 122 tariffs, that 10%.
Yeah.
Is that
But a lot of them haven't been that great either.
We have a right to do pretty much what we want to do, but we're going to charge it starting effectively. I think it's 3 days from now. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, you speak to a lot of factory workers, a lot of manufacturing workers. What does the Supreme Court ruling say? What's that message to those factory workers?
Well, I think the factory workers are happy because we're now telling them that they're going to... Look, the man I met with yesterday who owned a factory was out of business. He was out of business. And now he's employing 5 times. In fact, I walked in, he's got a brand new crane. I said, how old is that crane? We got it in December. He's allowed to write it off in 1 minute. The Great Big Beautiful Act gave no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime.
And that's one thing, people vote Democrat when he was putting that in, and already states have went with it and honored it, while other states has still been trying to charge tax, like my stupid state that I'm trying to move the hell out of, the no tax on tips things. You would think, even though it wasn't their idea, they would go with it and respect that and say, yeah, we'll go with the no tax on tips as an expression of good faith. But with that not happening, especially in Cali, Minnesota, Illinois, New York especially, it's like, well, you do it to yourself. Have fun working 2 to 3 jobs now to make better ends meet in your shitty blue states. That's what you get, stupid.
That this great, big, beautiful bill, frankly, has been the best thing that's ever happened.
You get what you vote for, and I'm definitely going to cover that too. The recent news with Mandami, and I was on X with my one group, and we made fun of the idiots that voted for Mandani in New York. It's like, lo and behold, you idiots, that's what you get, what you vote for. You should have voted for that Republican guy, and if you didn't want Cuomo, get that Republican guy that was running. He was interesting. He was talking about, I know I'm digressing from this and going off on a tangent, but I like how he was talking about a story with John Gotti when he dealt with the mafia and almost got killed by one of John Gotti's hitters. That was really freaking interesting. You know he's tough and seen some stuff, and he would make a good mayor. But people are still stuck in their liberal woke cult mindset and don't want to try something new even for a couple years. It's like, you ain't doing that good regardless, so whatever you got to lose. If this party sucks, then fine. At least you tried it, you know?
The only thing it does for rich people, it allows them to hire a lot more people. But when I saw him, and then he said, it's all up and down the line. This is a place in Georgia, all up and down. Other factories doing different, not only steel products, different. He said, every one of us was out of business. We could barely make it. Some of them were down to less than an hour a week. Think of it, 1 hour a week to make just a few little trinkets or whatever they make. Now they're going round the clock. I had it a month ago. I went to Michigan, went to Ford, and I met with Bill Ford, the head of Ford, and we were in one of the biggest plants, an original plant from the early 1900s, where, by the way, I might add this, it's not really relevant, but it's all relevant. Murders are down the lowest since 1900, around the time that he had this plant. That's 125 years. We have the lowest murder rate. Okay. And our crime is way down in the country. The factories that we're talking about, the people that we're talking about, they are so thrilled with Trump. So whether we charge IEEPA tariffs or whether we charge tariffs under a different section, that's what we're going to be doing. There's no way we can lever. This is what happened to our country. This is why we owe $38 trillion, which we'll get rid of in pretty good course. We have a very incompetent Fed chairman who likes high interest rates. For political reasons, he likes them. But we're going to have somebody very good. Interest rates should come down very substantially. I think we should pay the lowest interest rates on the planet. There should be no country, and we don't do that. We're number 38. This is just bad policy for a long period of time. But what's happened is we've made America strong again. We've made America great again. We should pay. As an example, the country of Switzerland, we were getting almost no tariffs from them. We had a $40 billion deficit. And the prime minister called me up. She said, but we are a small country, because I said we're going to raise it to 39% from nothing. That would have rendered them not very successful. As opposed to right now, they're considered elite. But if we put a tariff, they would, and I realized then, she said, but sir, we are a small country. I said, you're a small country with a big deficit. For us, you're making a lot of money off the United States. If we do that, a lot of these elite countries, they're elite because we let them make so much money. And I want them to do well. But I don't want them to do well on the backs of the American taxpayer. So I appreciate your question. I think it's a reasonable answer.
President Trump, you said that you were disappointed with that, but were you surprised with this decision? What you felt when you?
I was surprised because I thought that what we did was, number one, according to, I mean, I read the paragraphs. I read very well. Great comprehension. I read everything there is to read, and I said, we can't lose this case. But we can when judges are political, when they want to be politically correct, when they're catering to a group of people in D.C. Maybe, I don't know what it is, because when you read it, there's no other interpretation. There is no other interpretation. But it's okay, because what has come out, I'll say it for the third time and maybe the last time in a while, is that we've taken the uncertainty of tariffs out, because we had uncertainty. We got sued by sleazebags, I know them well, that are very outside country, China-centric, but outside country-centric. And they're going to end up not doing as well as they did before. America was becoming really, really, we're strong again. Hey, we have the strongest military. I rebuilt the military in the first term. We have the most powerful military. We make the best equipment. And even them, you know, we could do much better. We have people that get paid a lot of money to manufacture Patriot missiles and javelins and all the different things.
And that's all well and good, but my thing is, if we're going to spend trillions, it shouldn't be 60 to 70% of the money that we expand and keep investing in nuclear technology. I mean, we have so many nukes, and those are just really good deterrents so we don't have another big world war, other countries trying to mess with us. But how many nukes does one country need? Like, damn. Just having 1,000 or so should be enough. The biggest things you need to invest in is gear, equipment, vehicles, and that Iron Dome he's investing in, which I'm all for, but You want to chill a little bit with the nukes? It's like, you know, haven't you invest enough with nukes? That's my only critique I gotta say there. And spending so much, if we're spending trillions of dollars with our military, we should be investing with more of the vehicles and cyber warfare and stuff like that. Maybe even getting a new satellite now. I'm all for that, but make sure we don't go too crazy with the military and have, especially before your term ends, have people have softened the blow, because who knows how it's going to go with the midterms and the end of his election if another Republican will get in, or a commie-crat. I'm not going to say something that I was saying to my brother in that earlier, but I will say if the commie-crats pick a very bad politician, high likelihood the Republicans will hold power. And it kind of depends on who. I mean, their picks are way worse than our picks on the alternative. I'll take a solid pick who may not be perfect, but way better than the alternative, just like when it was Trump versus Kamala. Obviously, Trump's made his mistakes, and I'm still a little bit annoyed and disagreed with a fair amount of stuff, even though I credited him with some stuff that he did, as of earlier I mentioned, with some of the tariffs. But the whole Iran war that's about to happen, and or not supporting ICE is good, HSI, because he was telling them to do their job and go do it, and they were happy to do it. But you're kind of sandbagged them a little bit and backpedaled on that, which was disappointing, as well as trying to say, oh yeah, we're going to give you free money in that American taxpayer, aka us. It's like, don't be saying stuff you don't mean, because people are going to remember that. And people who aren't blindly loyal and, you know, stupid by not calling you out on that, which, yeah, we're going to call you out on that. It's like, bro, you should already know, Mr. President. Think before you speak.
But when you want them, they're too slow, and we put them on notice, and they're going to make our country.
Remember, no new wars.
Is building a lot of things right now, and our country is doing really well, and we're going to keep it that way.
And staying strong and steadfast on the Constitution, and making sure these other states who vote for idiot politicians don't mess with the First and Second Amendment. That's very big. That's the whole foundation for the Constitution.
The bottom line is that the word certainty is now in the equation. Every single thing I said today is guaranteed certainty. It's been tested, as Jameson said 1,000 times. Literally, I said hundreds of times. He said, sir, actually thousands of times, and won in all of the courts. And we're just going back to that. And the problem is that we had other presidents that weren't into trade. Maybe they weren't business oriented. Maybe they weren't smart. We had some dummies too, you know. I respectfully say we had some real dummies. So we are going to keep it going just as before, probably more so. But you're no longer going to be asked. Every time I got up, you'd ask, well, what happens if you can't charge tariffs? Now we can. And by the way, in their decision, they specifically said we can do these. We have alternatives. Yeah.
On the trade deals that were negotiated using IEEPA tariffs, do those stand now, or are they have to be redone?
Well, some of them stand. Many of them stand. Some of them won't, and they'll be replaced with the other tariffs.
Mr. President, on the Supreme Court justices who ruled against this the policy, striking it down, are they still invited to your State of the Union next week? And will you speak with them?
They are invited, barely.
Picked a great name, but your voice...
Freaking ads, man.
Barely.
And will you speak with them?
They are invited, barely. Barely. 3 are happily invited. No, they're barely invited. Honestly, I couldn't care less if they come, okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the trade deal, which is the framework, which is to be signed with India sometime soon, will that stand now? And on the decision, nothing changes.
No, nothing changes. They'll be paying tariffs, and we will not be paying tariffs. Our deal with India is they pay tariffs. This is a reversal from what it used to be, as you know.
Well, that's good because India was one of the biggest countries taking advantage of us, and they can be such cheapskates, so I'm glad we're still cracking down on them with that. That's one of the tariffs I definitely respect and give credit there. But we should, the biggest countries that don't really benefit us, that we should charge a fair amount of tariffs to, especially for taking advantage on, but not going too crazy about it. But, giving a good 15% doesn't hurt. India, the UK, I don't care about the UK. They don't really benefit us. Canada, still try to be a little more easy with it, but it still charge them a fair amount of tariff tax, if you want to call it that. Yeah, India, UK, Canada, Switzerland. Well, I do like the Rolex and that, so I guess there's that, but still, that's besides the point. They need to pay their fair share. Let's see what else. There's actually a fair amount too. Oh yeah, Denmark. Yeah, Denmark especially. And a bit of Western Europe in general. But not as much as those ones. UK especially. The UK is really crazy. I feel bad for some of the people there. Even though they brought it upon themselves. But man, the UK got so communist as of recently. What the hell is going on there? I know they don't have our constitution, the free speech. However, getting in trouble, big time legal trouble for posting their opinions and whatnot online. Now that's very violation. Like, damn. I'm surprised more people from the UK haven't tried to sneak in. I know it's probably harder, but try to sneak in here and say, fuck this. Can I get an American to marry me? I'll give you money. I don't want to be stuck in my third world country.
Prime Minister Modi is a great gentleman, a great man, actually. But he was much smarter than the people that he was against in terms of the United States. He was ripping us off in India. So we made a deal with India, and it's a fair deal now. And we are not paying tariffs to them, and they are paying tariffs. We did a little flip.
Are up as of now for this.
No, the India deal is on here.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
All the deals are on it. We're just going to do it a different way.
Mr. President. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I think there is another war that you stopped and you should take the credit, which is in Syria. Secretary Rubio, after his meeting in Munich with the Syrian Foreign Minister and the Kurdish General Muslim Abdi, he said that President Trump was directly involved in efforts to stop the fighting between the Kurds and the Syrians. How will your administration make sure that this peace is sustained? And do you support the idea
Well, it's a very different topic, and so I don't want to spend a lot of time. But all I can say is that the president of Syria, who I essentially put there, is doing a phenomenal job. He's a rough guy.
Yeah, destabilize and put there, which is we're supposed to be up against terrorism and all that stuff, and no negotiations with tariffs, which 1,000% support. But he is definitely not too much better than the Taliban or Hamas there. That Syria, ever since they kicked out Gaddafi, or I mean not Gaddafi, but Bashar al-Assad, that hasn't done any favors for us there in Syria. Has been really destabilized and have been more trouble than what it's worth. So that was an L for America for doing that one. And, yeah. I wish the best for the Kurds, and hopefully they could give the biggest ass-kicking and finger to Syria. Because I do not like or support their leader as of now. Their leader is very bad.
He's not a choir boy. A choir boy couldn't do it. But Syria is coming together, really coming together well. And
I question that.
To the Kurds. Yeah.
From what I'm hearing, not so good.
Mr. President, what's your message to the Iranian people after 2 rounds of talks with them? Do you have any message to the Iranian people?
The Iranian people in Iran or people here?
People in Iran.
They better negotiate a fair deal. They better negotiate. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very, very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time. They were going to hang 800, 2 weeks ago, hang, some by crane. They lift them up with a tall crane, and they play them around the square. They were going to hang 837 people. And I gave them the word, if you hang one person, even one person, that you're going to be hit right then and there. I wasn't waiting 2 weeks and negotiating, and they gave up the hanging. They didn't hang 837. Supposedly, they didn't hang anybody. But no, I feel very badly for the people of Iran. They've lived in hell. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You mentioned multiple times.
And not for nothing, but there's more to the story than that. I'm not going to go into a whole big tangent there, even though I will cover a little bit more of that. But when you go down the whole situation there, there's more than meets the eye. And it connects to a lot of things that have happened as of recently. You can go ahead and do more research yourself if you're that, you know, I guess, concerned and or really put a lot of stock into that as of recently, what's going on now with the ships being closer to their air and the countries there and closer to their territory.
Times foreign influence over the Supreme Court. Do you have evidence of that? And if not, will you investigate that?
You're going to find out.
What alternatives are you going to put into place in your relationship with Europe, and also those tariffs that has been called illegal? How they're going to go impact the relationship with Russia? That you sanction
Well,
some
I want
countries?
Europe to strengthen up. Europe has gone woke. Europe is not recognizable when you go in.
He's got a big point there. They need to straighten the hell up, just like Eastern Europe has. Definitely shout out to the Eastern Europe. Even, you know, I have a bloodline going there from my mother's side, so I might be a little biased there. But Western Europe definitely needs to kick out the goofy woke ideas, or else they're not going to have much of a country left anymore, and they're going to be occupied. And the people there are going to be left holding the bag. And I feel bad for friends I have there, especially within, you know, the UK. Australia's from a different part of the zone, but yeah, Australia especially. Ireland, Sweden, Denmark, Scotland, Wales, Netherlands is, well, not as bad as the Netherlands are balancing it better, so, you know, hats off to them for what I've been hearing, but especially those areas, they need to, Germany, they need to get the lead out their ass and snap out of it.
To so many places, not all countries. You look at Hungary, you look at Poland.
Poland,
Czech,
yeah, they're doing good, even though they're more in the Eastern European part.
There are some countries that have gone very much the opposite, some really, and some others. But Europe has to be strong, and they become soft and not recognizable. You go into some of the countries, I don't want to be specific, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking about, and they're not recognizable. They become, the environmentalists have taken over.
Facts.
They've got windmills destroying their fields, and they're beautiful.
That's one thing I gotta give credit to, real quick. Shout out to Trump for cracking down on that freaking environmentalist mafia. That was doing a lot of damage to the countries. It's one thing I somewhat like it, depending on how it goes. It's not like a big thing that could cover whole types of cities and whatnot. I don't mind solar. Solar's okay, and it's not that much in the way compared to disgusting windmills that harm the birds and nature in itself, and that is way more trouble than what it's worth, and it's just a whole disaster. Fuck windmills. Solar, I don't mind, it's okay. Not the best, but it's okay. But of course, you need the big things like nuclear power plants, and that a real nice stable one, not no trashy one that you're just pushing out there. Like what we got is okay compared to what Ukraine and whatnot have back in the Soviet era. I know things have changed back then and whatnot. You know, shout out to Trump restabilizing that. He should still push more on improving our electrical infrastructure instead of these like telephone poles. Be like Japan and whatnot, put more of the electrical lines and whatnot underground so it's more better in case big disasters and storm hits, so we don't have to keep spending a bunch of money to always fix it and cause those issues, especially when idiots don't know how to drive and then end up hitting one and the whole block or area is out of power for days to weeks. Like when natural disasters happen too, like tornado, big time storms, forest fires and shit like that. So I'm glad he cracked down on that. Big W to Trump there. But that doesn't excuse some of the bad moves you've been making.
Meadows and their oceans, and they're paying a fortune. Now, Europe has to get smart. Europe's getting killed on two things, energy and immigration. And if they don't solve both of them fast, Europe is not the same place. Yeah, please.
And he's got to crack more down on that like he's been doing, but he just had to recently pull back because the Minnesota and those stupid rioters have been causing so much freaking trouble and not handling it the right way and having to get in between and mess with ICE doing their job and handling it in a very bad way. Like, come on. There are better ways to call out ICE and whatnot than there is trying to get in the way and block them with your cars and put yourself in vicarious situations. Like the natural selection, F around and find out, is the worst ways. And, you know, it sucks that those situations had to come with the Alex Preddy and the situation. You know, it's unfortunate that had to go down. But when you make things overcomplicated and go into high-risk situations while the ICE agents are doing their job, you're just bringing it upon yourself. So don't put yourself in vicarious situations. It's not worth it. Be smart and use the internet if you want to call them out.
Justices Gorsuch and Barrett, are you surprised in particular by their decision today? And do you regret nominating them?
Whether or not I regret, I think their decision was terrible. Yeah. I think it's an embarrassment to their families. You want to know the truth? The two of them. Yeah.
Specifically on that $2,000 tariff check.
Mr. President,
I didn't call you.
You didn't call me?
Yeah, Mr. President, to be clear, do you believe at the end of implementing these new tariff tools, the tariff rate and tariffs will ultimately be higher than they currently are?
Potentially higher. How much higher? It depends, whatever we want them to be. But we want them to be fair for other countries. And, you know, we have some countries that have treated us really badly for years, and it's going to be high for them. And we have other countries that have been very good, and it's going to be very reasonable for them. Yeah.
So specifically on the tariffs question, I mean on the $2,000.
I didn't call you.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. Do you have any plans to travel to India for the Quad Summit?
She must be with CNN. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. Damn, poor girl, but he can do what he wants and wanted to answer questions on that part. That's funny. I didn't call you. Might as well just tell her I don't want to talk to you. Go fuck yourself.
And how do you think your relationship with India is right now?
I think my relationship with India is fantastic. And we're doing trade with India. India pulled out of Russia. You know, India was getting its oil from Russia, right? And they pulled way back at my request because we want to settle that horrible war where 25,000 people are dying every month. And my relationship with Prime Minister Modi is, I would say, great. I also stopped a war between India and Pakistan, as you know. There were 10 planes we shot down. That war was going and probably going nuclear. And just yesterday, the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved 35 million lives by getting them to stop. That's and I did it largely with tariffs. I said, look, you're going to fight, that's fine, but you're not going to do business with the United States, and you're going to pay a 200% tariff, each country. And they called up and they said, we have made peace.
Now that was smart.
Okay.
I give credit there. That was smart.
I just want to thank you all. Look, great certainty has been brought back to the economy of the United States and actually the economy of the world because we generate so much in the world. We're the biggest in the world, and we're now the strongest by far. We were a country that was dead 1.5 years ago. Now we have the hottest country in the world. We're going to keep it that way. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Did you say 32,000 were killed in Iran, sir?
Well, definitely shout out to Right Side Broadcasting there, really getting to the whole thing as of recent with the recent politics. I just hope if this thing escalates with Iran, hopefully Trump knows what he's doing, because right now, I'm not as optimistic as and convinced as I should be, as well as others that have covered on it to know more than me. I'll be honest, to know a little more than me. I know it's not all Trump's fault. If it was up to them, he would be making more deals. But let's be honest, there's another side, or government, mainly government, I want to make sure I call that out, that's not been making things easy and that already had a beef with Iran. If you know, you know. I just hope everybody on all sides, this doesn't escalate to something big like Vietnam, or potentially like Vietnam, and for everybody, and there's not a whole big bloodbath. I just hope everything can be resolved amicably so we don't have to waste a bunch of time and issues and damage and loss of life. Nobody wants that. No one in their right mind does. So I just hope things go well. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to react to. Hold on. Oh, here we go.
The mayor.
This is, I guess, on the shorts, but check this out. This happened as of recently with the Mayor Mandami and the people that voted for this. Here's certain people speaking out on the stupid moves he wants to make now, too. It's like, well, about time. A little too late, though. I'm sure you guys probably voted for him. Going with that scheme, he said, oh, yeah, you guys are going to pay less taxes and we're going to provide a lot of free stuff, including free transportation and whatnot. Well, he was already caught lying about that earlier. Now he wants you guys to pay more, and you guys got scammed. It's like, haha, suckers, you voted in for me and now I'm not going to do much to help you. I'm just going to indirectly scam you and smile in your face like the typical corrupt politician. Well, you asked for it. Maybe you should have thought about that before and really done your research. You should have voted for somebody else instead. Let me see here.
The greatest respects.
Is it playing? Okay, it is. Good.
In every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
Having only two options. You're saying if we don't tax the rich, then I got to increase property taxes. We are not a pawn in Southeast Queens. We are not part of your negotiation tactics. Zoran Mondani, you are out your goddamn mind.
Perfect. Yeah, it's like, well, what do you expect? About fucking time. Alright, let's see what else here. There's some comments. Where's the more of the video on it? Mandami backstabs teachers. Zoran Mandani is facing backlash after a proposal tied to city pension investment sparked criticism from political opponents who argue the move amounts of raiding teachers' retirement funds. Oof, I bet they're not happy about that. It's like, well, what do you expect? What's another thing? There was more to it, too. Hold on. This is all over the place. I want to see, like, the whole bill. Let me go ahead and find that because they're showing this right now. I don't want it to be repetitive. Ah, here it is. That's what I wanted. That's what I was looking for. Sorry about the delay, chat.
Racial equity, 4.6 million. Commission on racial equity, 835,000. Commission on gender.
Look at this bullshit. Especially this one. You're gonna pay that much for that? For that much for that woke policy? You already know he's gonna take a big chunk of that, and that's pretty much like laundering and kickback, but still. That's your proposal, and not for increased law enforcement, because you already know New York's one of the certain parts of New York especially not only are not doing too good with the economy, but are very dangerous areas where you think you would want to hire more cops than that to be at, but you want this instead. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you stupid? Are you dumb, stupid, or dumb, huh? But actually, I wouldn't say... he knows what he's doing as well as the Comic Crap Party know what they're doing. They're just hiding it under these blanket terms to screw people over. That's what it really is.
Equity, 260,000 for Department of Education, Chief Diversity Officer, 301,000 for 3 FDNY Civilian Chief Diversity Inclusion Officers. There's a title for you. And 118,000 for an FDNY Chief Diversity Inclusion Officer. Is that necessary stuff? You can't cut that back?
And a list of things to do when it comes to public safety, absolutely not. Public safety's got to be in the top of your list. So we can't pay for everything. Everything can't be for free. But what you need is cops out in the street. Tell me how all these programs are going to help when you're getting robbed in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
Facts. Facts.
You tell me. Believe me, he's about to find out, sadly. Mondami's progressive agenda includes new budgets items like $750,000 for Art and Cultural Fund, $800,000 for anti-ageism, $437 million for child care vouchers, LGBTQ emergency for $2 million. It goes on. And you pointed out his climate change budget. What's he spending on that?
Something like a climate management office for...
What the fuck, man? Well, maybe try voting for something else or somebody else for a change, and that won't happen. Stupid. Like, come on. What do you expect? You get what you vote for. Now you're going to have to stay holding the bag, and that's more people trying to move the hell out of that state now. Make sure you don't bring your bad politics with you, or you're not welcome to come, reap what you sow, as they say. You get what you vote for, and now deal with the consequences. Like we had to deal with some. What was I going to check? Oh, yeah, hold on. This is who should have been mayor instead. Here's right here. I want to cover on some of the stuff he said. This guy should have been mayor instead. He should have had more than Cuomo or Mondami. But they don't want to give a decent Republican a chance. And this guy had some good ideas with his policy. He wasn't going crazy by pushing religion and all this nonsense like the right guard, old boomer Republicans push that doesn't help a big majority of the people and don't, how should I say, benefit the masses. Because not everyone's a Christian or Catholic. Regardless whether you like it or not, it is what it is. And that's not forcing things down people's throat like how the Republican side and my side too talk about forcing all this LGBT woke stuff down people's throat. We don't like it. That's another big reason why we voted for Trump, because we didn't want stuff being forced down our throats. And we don't have to hate on and cause issues and bully, but we also don't have We don't want it shoved down our throats, but we also don't want to deal with it and all that as well. So I'm whatever about it. Just don't force it down my throat. And, you know, because nobody owes you understanding, and or the world doesn't owe you understanding, regardless of your beliefs and thoughts. And no one owes you respect. It's earned, not given. And that's not the way to do it. And same could be said for the crazy religious people and the Republicans on that side. You know, like it or not, but that's the same argument we use. We don't want to force it down people's throat. I digress.
Here we are, Roosevelt, Maine, the heart of Flushing. Came out of the 7 train. Look at the congestion behind us. Look at these buses back to back. They ain't going nowhere. This is unbelievable traffic congestion. And then look at all the buses here and all the people waiting to get on the buses. It may take them probably maybe 2 hours just to get back to where they're going in Queens or over into the Bronx. This is an absolute mess. Department of Transportation, do your job. Clean up this congestion.
Well, that's not going to happen real soon. I know that. Wow. Oh, yeah, I should cover this as well. I'll cover the other stuff, but this definitely brings a real smile to my face, even though I don't really follow football. I'm more for a bit of basketball, even though I'm more for UFC and boxing, because I like more of the combat stuff. It's more entertaining for me. But this happened as of recently in my, not-so-nice state, to say the least. Breaking, thousands of furious Chicago Bear fans are demanding Mayor Brandon Johnson resign after he let the team bolt for Indiana, which is a state doing a bit better than us, to build a new stadium. Now, instead of the Chicago Bears, they're going to be the Indiana Bears. Shout out to, them. They picked a good choice. After over 100 years in the Windy City, the Bears are packing up. I wonder why, and fans aren't holding back. Yep, well, you brought it upon yourself. Maybe don't vote blue this time. Maybe try voting red, like for the midterms coming up now, or in March. I'm sorry, the candidacy in March. Don't vote Bailey. Don't vote stupid Pritzker again, because you're just going to pay more shit and have a bad time. Try voting for Joseph Severino. I am officially endorsing Joseph Severino for governor, and if you don't vote for him, you're an idiot, and you deserve what you vote for. Joseph Severino for governor of Chicago. You know what to do. Or don't. Your life, your choice. Learn the hard way, even though you'll never learn anyway, because you're cooked at that point. A petition to force his resignation. Yeah, we should have been doing that a long time ago. He's incompetent. Is already gaining steam. Chicago without Bears, unthinkable. Johnson's response, crickets on why he couldn't keep them home. Nor could Pritzker. Fuck both of them. Hold those L's. Fraud, waste, abuse of tax dollars, ignoring crime. Facts. Non-stop multi-dozen shootings almost every weekend, but fucking with the Bears is the red line. I think we might be all cooked. It's freaking secret bunker time. Yeah, or else what I'm trying to do, get the hell out. Hell, I'm halfway about, if it gets worse, just driving to the state I want to move to and sleeping in the car until I figured out a bigger game plan at this point, because it's getting bad. If we don't get in a good governor, it's going to get worse. Oh, this is new. Breaking in. Shout out to Eric Doherty for this. Damn it.
You give,
It's fun to see her with getting angry and the steam coming out of her ears like a commercial. This inbred freaking politician in Minnesota. Glad she's not having a good day.
Thank you. When did you give notice? And I just want to make sure you did not see any detainees.
No, we gave notice 8 days ago. We got confirmation yesterday that we were going to be allowed in. And the last detainee was taken out at 11:30 a.m., 30 minutes before we were set to arrive.
What about the children who were released in T-shirts on Wednesday?
And we also did ask, you know, how many people came through today, which is why it felt convenient that no one was there. They said 10 when we first got there, and 10 were gone, and then they said there were another 5. And so I circled back and I said, can we go and see the 5 that are here, because we have privacy release forms? And they said, no, we cannot permit you to go into the cell to see the detainees. And I said, well, we don't need to go into the cell. We can, you know, put the forms, slide them in, and then we can look through the glass and see what their conditions look like. And then they oohed and ahed for a little bit, and then conveniently, as they were taking us towards the cell, someone said, there's not a single person left, and they took us into an empty cell. So it's just the timeline and the stories seem very convenient for what they really were working very hard for us not to see and witness. But thank you all.
Thank you.
Freaking inbred chick. You know, El Mayor, so for Minnesota, you get what you vote for there, but I think it's more convenient that you're caring more about that than the fraud that's been going on in the state that people voted you for power to crack down on. Instead, you're reaping the benefit of that, not caring about the fraud with the daycare centers, among other things as well. I find that way more convenient. The reason why I call her inbred, for those that don't know, she married her freaking brother. And, you know, I'm kind of surprised there. No offense to the Somalians aren't about that, and the more reasonable, logical Somalians, that this is your spokesperson there if you live in Minnesota. And I didn't think Somalis had freaking hillbillies, but I guess they do. They have their own version of hillbillies. I'm surprised she even... Well, not too surprised, because I guess they vote for anyone blue there, that they would vote for her in office. Syria asked Germany not to deport its citizens back home, warning it would make the country unsafe. I hope Germany tells them, screw you, we're going to do it, and you're going to take them, like it or not. About time Germany started getting a brain and, you know, cracking down on that as well, and taking pages out of our book. Like, about freaking time. I have friends there, and I wish them the best. Ooh, this is interesting. I'm about to gear off of politics in a second and react to something else more interesting, but let's do this one thing here. One thing at a time, and then we're going to enjoy a little bit of entertainment and segue away from politics. I just want to cover this last thing here.
This afternoon, a mother says she just wants answers after her special needs son is found wandering miles away from his school when he was supposed to be in class.
I don't feel safe. I'm just scared to go back. There's something could happen that same day again.
11-year-old Richard Harley says he doesn't want to go back to class after he was found wandering, scared and alone, miles away from school grounds.
Wow, he could have got kidnapped too. School, if the parent had any righteous thing, if you can't afford a better school, pull him the hell out, get a tutor, and do homeschooling, because that's very unprofessional. And public schools nowadays are a freaking joke. The president or his advisor to that, Linda McMahon, needs to crack more down on schools being utterly useless to people. You're better off being homeschooled at this point. It's probably way cheaper. The hell?
Following a student-led walkout protesting ICE.
They're supposed to stay on.
I know I wouldn't put, if I'm having kids, they're going to go to really good schools, not no BS public school. And if my school tried to do that, I would pull my kid out and see if I could get a lawsuit with that, because that's negligence. The parents could sue for that. That's big time negligence, and I wouldn't want them indoctrinating my kid to hate the country he or she comes from, and indoctrinating them with woke nonsense and frying their brain and brain rotting them with... I digress, but that's despicable.
72, by the school, but they did the exact opposite. It went just way more farther, and no one even knew how far they were going.
So you kind of got...
I was like the last one, so I was all alone.
The incident happened Tuesday morning at Dundee Middle School in the far northwest suburb where the 6th grader is a student.
What's going on?
His mother says she was not notified about the walkout, and because her son has special needs and an individualized education program, or IEP, takes issue with him being allowed to leave campus without supervision or parental authorization.
Why didn't I get,
she should sue them.
That he was tardy, or absent for that matter? Why didn't they even bother calling in?
Blaisdell says her son didn't understand what the walkout was about and merely went along with the other students when they went outside. She says the protest turned dangerous for Richard when he couldn't keep up with the other kids who were marching along Main Street and Route 72 Higgins Road. Blaisdell said her son called her in a panic.
He said, you just need to come pick me up. I don't know what's going on. I'm very scared.
The 34-year-old mother of 3 says she called police but was able to locate her son through his cell phone about 10 minutes later near the busy intersection of 72 and Randall Road.
It's not right. Because my kid, again, is...
I think they're talking about Illinois here. Okay, that's a big time no. If the kid was smart enough, I would say, you're not making me go to school again. You could have got me kidnapped, and that would have been on you. If I get into some trouble, I'd rather end up running out of the state and going into hiding. I'd probably have better odds surviving that than deal with negligence and stupidity at that school. I know the kid can't think that logically, but thank goodness when I was going to school, I didn't deal with that stupidity and issues, or I would have just said, fuck it. You're going to have to send the FBI to come find me, because I'm just going to either... not go, and if you're going to cause issues with that, then I'm just going to take a train and run away.
Supposed to be.
And hide out somewhere, and hopefully, if I have to, the nuclear option, some people on the street can look after me, and I become more of a street kid. If you know, you know. Way better than that garbage. Not giving ideas here, but hopefully you're never in those kind of situations. If you got to deal with that, though, oof, I feel sorry for you. The mother should sue, though. It's her responsibility to get vengeance for that legally and get money so that she can afford a better education for her kid. That's like damn near open and shut case. That's a lot of evidence right there.
Safe, in school.
Take money out those stupid schools' pockets. Get lawyers. Caroline Levette commented on this. Interesting. Okay. Hopefully people enjoyed that. I'm going to go ahead and segue away from politics. Now let's go see what's been going on here. Hope everyone's enjoying the content and my breakdowns and dives into this and reactions. If you like it, you know what to do. I hate when I got the feeling to sneeze, but I'm not able. There we go. I hate when it lingers and tickles for an extra few minutes of, you know, you gotta do it, but it wants to be random about it. I hate that. Oh, this is new.
Enjoy 24-hour.
Husband is sick of alcoholic wife's abuse and has her arrested. A lot of men are going through that recently. You got to do way better at vetting. I know you're having trouble getting women, and she's probably one of the first girls that gives you a good BJ or so. But you need to do better due diligence on dating, and don't be an idiot and get married like that, because she could still screw you over, my dude. Unless you live in a good state where judges are more fair and nice about it, but even then. Be smart. Don't be getting married with the state involved, or get prenups or something, my guy. You kind of brought that upon yourself, especially picking her. You should know better. However, I still feel bad for you. Turn yourself around and do better, my dude.
Safety, guys, only her county.
She's a recovering alcoholic, so he blames everything on that. Oh, she fell down.
A lot of recovering alcoholics don't always end up recovering. Sometimes they gotta go twice, or they just never learn. Which is why you should just do your due diligence to not bother, you know? Stop, no, or don't. All of that.
She's walking around, she's begging me for booze, and she goes to her parents' house and she's like, oh, he's hitting me. But I'm like, that's from, they tried 6 times to put an IV in your...
Oh yeah, by the way, this is from Police Body Cam Station. Go check them out. Good channel.
Because you're so...
She's reported domestic abuse 3 times.
Okay. Did she ever tell you that you called the police on her?
I hope he was smart enough to film it.
Harming or killing someone?
Me? Yes.
Threatened to kill you?
Yes.
Threatened to kill herself? Yes.
I just wanted to get picked up. I didn't want police called. I wasn't even planning on calling police on him. I just wanted to get to a safe space.
On June 28th, Dispatch received a call from a distressed
I don't know why the passport movement is going more bigger than it already has been. The passport movement is such a big thing. Passport bros, wish you the best of luck. Just make sure if you do end up bringing the girl back, make sure she doesn't get indoctrinated by a lot of this woke bullshit that we still are dealing with.
who apparently had just been struck by his wife. According to him, she is a recovering alcoholic who relapsed that day and started lashing out at him. When officers arrive, they find the man sitting on his front porch.
What's going on? So my wife's a recovering alcoholic, and she's relapsed 2 weeks ago. Don't listen to anything my mother-in-law has to say here.
Yeah, she wasn't here. So.
Tell her to get away.
Can you go wait somewhere where we're not standing right next to him?
Yes, I can. Nice that you have a partner. Thank you.
I'm sorry?
I see that you have a partner. I didn't realize it. I'm a little upset.
I understand. Thank you.
Fast forward to today. I'm at baseball for like 6 hours today. Come home, find a bottle of wine on the counter. She's yelling and screaming. I tried grabbing the rest of her plastic cup, and she jammed it into my face. I don't know if I'm bleeding, but it feels like I have a mark somewhere up here.
Yeah, you got a little blood up on your upper lip.
So I said, "This, I'm calling the cops."
Smart.
Fair enough.
She's on court supervision. She's not supposed to be drinking. She's in violation of her court supervision.
Ooh, even okay. That helps them. That helps them big time.
She's claiming that I've been hitting her, but there's nothing. There's not. She had 6 public safety guys holding her down. Just last Wednesday or Thursday. She was strapped to a bed.
Wow, it's that bad? Bro, what are you doing?
Shoving your face.
It's a plastic orange count. There's a plastic orange cup.
Can I see it? Do you mind if I come in with you?
Yeah, for sure. Roger, stay downstairs, bud. I'll be down in a minute. So, found us in the garbage can to get home. I'm at baseball with my son. He's downstairs. He's playing video games and watching movies.
Poor kid, man. Hopefully he doesn't inherit some of the issues from the mom. I hope if he touches alcohol, he doesn't deal with any. Side note, I want to get one of these coffee makers too, so I could get a little taste of the coffee that Starbucks makes, and then the long haul pay less money and do it way better. Just a side note, that's a really expensive coffee maker, so they're doing good on Amazon. That shit costs like $900 to $1,000. Well, it was 1,000, but went down to 900 something. I know I digress as a side note. However, they got money. I just hope that kid doesn't get the mom's issues, because a lot of people that have alcohol or drug issues and whatnot, the kid can inherit that. So here's hoping he doesn't touch it at all. But if he does, when he gets older, that he doesn't suffer those consequences. He takes after his dad's side more. Otherwise, that kid is cooked, because this is already going to be bad when the parents are divorcing. Hopefully the dad gets a big, because she's an alcoholic and unpaired and I guess unreliable. Hopefully they're in the red state too. Not as reliable as being a good caregiver for the kids, so hopefully dad gets primary custody. I wish him the best.
No, she has this, and she jabs me in the face.
Yeah, what's going on?
And obviously there's this whole mess. I said, that's it. I've been trying to avoid having to call the cops because she's on court supervision. We agreed to get separated, but she's like, her parents are so on a power trip because she's like freaking out about losing this house. And I was like, listen, we're going to dissolve the house. We're going to move on. I'm at baseball all day long. Come home. She's drinking again. And so then she pulled this, actually, it was sitting here full of wine. And when I tried grabbing it, I was like standing here, and we were like, and she went.
So the wine splashed all over you too, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay.
And kind of this way.
Alright. So she tried to hit you with like while you had the cup?
This had the cup. She had the cup. And I tried grabbing it, and then she just said it, and she spilt it all over me, which is kind of dry, but if you were to smell me, I smell like wine. And this way, hit me in the lip, and I was like, get away.
So I guess my question is, were you guys fighting over the cup, or did she intentionally shove the cup in your face?
Intentionally shoved it in my face.
Gotcha.
Well, actually, I tried. All right, so I don't know how the terminology. I tried to grab it, and once she was like realizing that she couldn't drink it, she just said you and like tried to spill it on me. But I'm right here, and it hit my face. And
so do you think that she tried to hit you with the cup, or do you think she was trying to splash the alcohol, or just give up and dump the cup?
I think she tried to dump it into my face as hard as possible.
All right.
Intentionally, possibly hitting me in the face. Who knows?
Okay.
But it did hit me in the face. I remember initially touching my face and having blood. I don't have blood now. I haven't looked in the mirror.
Do you realize how much money this was?
Nobody cares.
But this has been like 2 weeks, and like she's been staying at her parents and then coming back during the day. She's walking around. She's begging me for booze. I have some video of her standing in the garage yesterday. She's like, so what's going on with like, she's like, give me a beer, give me a beer. But then she's going to her parents' house and she's like, look at all these bruises on my arms. But literally, she had to be held down during this seizure. I mean, there has to be pictures or evidence. None of this is...
No, I mean, if it's bruised already, like... if it's already healing?
She had to be strapped down. She had to be detained. She got strapped down ankles, arms. She was wiggling around so much that... And when she goes to her parents' house and she's like, oh, he's hitting me. And I'm like, that's from... They tried 6 times to put an IV in your arm because you were so up. And not one... And you just had a seizure. And now her parents are like, oh, you must be hitting my daughter. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you know what? And then my father-in-law didn't tell my mother-in-law why she was in the hospital until I told her yesterday. I was like, listen, she had a grand mal seizure on our back porch here because she tried with detoxing here in the house solo.
Okay, so after she hit you in the cup or the face with the cup.
I said this.
Yeah.
I've been putting this off for so long because I don't want my wife to go to jail. Actually, we've actually just talked about separating. But
About time.
The mother of my child going to jail. But I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. All day long, she's pacing. She's begging for me for drinks. It's ridiculous. And now her parents are out there.
I got you, man. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. It's not gonna get any easier.
No, it's not.
She's gotta want the help and want to actually get better.
Well, the funny thing is that she actually called. She's been to rehab 3 times or 4 times. The last time she AMA'd.
Yep, loser. Went there 3 or 4 times and learned anything and had a seizure from it. Some people are just, whatchamacallit, I guess you could call it, another nice way to say for YouTube purposes, natural selecting themselves. It's like, you want to make your life a living hell and that there are better ways to do it quick about it. Unless you have a fetish of wanting to suffer, then by all means. Not that you should. I'm just saying that, man, some people are such losers doing that to themselves.
Just like this seizure, they wanted her to be there for 4 days. A day and a half in, she AMA'd herself out. Calling me 10,000 times. They said I'm good to go. I'm like, there's no way you're good to go. And then I had the hospital calling me saying, listen, she's AMA'd, which is against medical advice, and if you don't come and pick her up, we're going to make other arrangements for her to go to her home, which is... And I was like, well, I might as well come pick her up other than her walking home or having to pay for a $50 cab or something. So I picked her up. Same shit starts all over again.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go talk to her, and then I'll get back to you if I need anything, okay?
After hearing his side of the story, officers already have a pretty good picture of what went down here today. But now it's time to confront his wife, Lisa, and apparently his mother-in-law, who so generously decided to stay and give her 2 cents on the topic.
What's going on?
I got hit in the face.
Where at?
In the right eye. And then,
She looks like a mess, too.
It just happened.
And she at the most is like a 4 out of 10 at best, and he picks her over that like, bro, you could do better. You don't have to pick an alcoholic.
I called my parents. That's my mother.
He's got to work a good job. You don't have to pick
Okay. So how did all this start?
bottom of the barrel.
I was at home today.
And I'm not just talking about looks, just the personality and the alcohol. That's a mess you don't want to solve.
And I get hit a lot, so.
You what? I'm sorry?
I get hit a lot.
Okay. Well, what happened today? What triggered? And obviously, there had to be some kind of an argument.
He was mad at me. Just because I'm an alcoholic, but I'm fine today. Well, I'm not fine. I don't feel great, but
okay,
I didn't
buddy.
do anything today. I took a shower. I stayed home. I was resting.
You say you're recovering?
Freaking liars, man.
Okay. So what?
It's women like that that make the other women who try to get justice for scumbags and whatnot and bad relationships that make the real woman look bad. These type of people make me sick. Freaking gaslighters, toxic people. People like that make me freaking sick. And it's people like that that make me say, I hope they never find true love and happiness even when they better themselves, because you can only do it for so long and then you revert back to old toxic habits and you generally don't want to help yourself and don't want to self-improve on your life. You just want to be miserable and try to bring somebody else with your miserable habits as well. Freaking despicable.
What stemmed an argument between you two? If you're recovering and you're not doing anything wrong, that's not usually a start of an argument. So
No, it's not.
happened.
No, it's not. No, it's definitely not start of an argument. I don't actually really know what starts half the argument.
Were you guys home the whole day and then just out of nowhere something happened?
Yes.
Or were you gone? Was he gone?
He was gone at a baseball game with my son.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he came home and then got very angry with me. And I said, why are you angry with me? I didn't do anything.
And did he explain it? Okay. Is anybody injured here? I'm trying to figure out why my paramedics are staging here. So obviously they're here to check somebody out.
Other than getting hit as hard as I could in the right eye, I don't think so.
I don't know why they got hit here, but 20 the Mexican come in.
Well,
officer, your partner, just took a photo of her on space. You might want to get one of hers.
The what?
A photo.
Okay, well, I don't know what he's doing. I'm talking to her.
No, can you take a photo of her face?
He wants to take photos of her face, he can do it. It's his fault. He's got to
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm just talking to her to keeping you guys entertained while he figures out what happened here.
Well, there's two sides of the story. She's reported
Usually is.
She's reported domestic abuse 3 times.
Okay.
And we're her parents.
Okay, she's an adult. She can't talk for herself. She needs her elderly mother to talk for her. That's kind of embarrassing. Grown adults who are able to face consequences and that still need their mothers and dads and whatnot to speak for them. It's like, she's an adult. She could speak for herself. That is one thing. It's kind of goofy and pathetic.
And so we are close by, and I'm sorry. And I just wanted to get picked up. I didn't want police called. I wasn't even planning on calling police on him. I just wanted to get to a safe space.
Got it. Okay.
And he called. Right.
Okay.
Because he wants to report how abusive he was.
In today's world, a lot of...
Yeah, and that goes to show, I know you're the mother and you want to care about your family and whatnot, but you're definitely a soft parent that didn't discipline her enough or so. Soft parenting, too much soft parenting doesn't help and get you far. You're doing more harm than good for your kid, so L mom on that one.
As you know, that's what's going on. It's a who can tap.
Who can what?
Who can win? Who can win I often don't understand what starts the arguments. I just know that they end.
Crocodile tears, here it goes.
I just wanted to get to a safe space, and then he decided to call. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation that's not getting better. And then, she's a recovering alcoholic, so he blames everything on that. Oh, she fell down. She ran into a door. All that stuff.
Yeah, if she's that bad of an alcoholic, that can happen. She's a really stumbling, bumbling alcoholic.
There's an advantage
aggressive
here
too.
to someone who wants to have one, in my opinion.
Has she ever hit, slapped, kicked you or anybody else?
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay. Threatened to harm the police if they were called?
That's why she has a police. That's why she has a court order against her right now, because she attacked a female officer.
I know, but she ever threatened to harm us if we come?
Like verbally on
No,
purpose?
did she ever tell you call the police, I'm gonna do something to them?
Yes.
Fantasize about harming or killing someone?
Me, yes.
Threaten to kill you?
Yes.
Threaten to kill herself?
Yes.
Threaten you with any weapons?
Well, the last time I called the police, I was on the phone with dispatch and she grabbed the knife from the knife block, so would that be a yes? I was on the phone call with dispatch and I said, I don't know if they've recorded.
I don't care if she's on alcohol, anyone that threatens me with that, I don't take that lightly. I would get one of the best lawyers and talk to other lawyers, which is a good tactic to make it a conflict of interest, and hire the best lawyer to get me out of that situation bad. I wouldn't be dumb enough to marry trash like that, and I wouldn't get married with the state involved in general, because those laws need to change, and if Trump really wants to do favors there, he needs to do better at the common law marriage stuff there, at least crack down on some of that, or have certain Congress and whatnot crack down on those laws too. They need to be updated. It's way too stuck in the old times and not adapted to this current time is all I gotta say.
That, but I was like, she just grabbed the knife from the knife block and she was threatening me. Well, apparently, not to my knowledge, she admitted to
Make sure everyone always don't be lazy, don't be too cheap. Install not only a door cam, but install some cameras in your house. It will work wonders for you. I almost dealt with some bullshit in my things of dating and whatnot, but luckily I had camera evidence and I never had to deal with BS. Luckily. I don't talk too much about that, but having cameras inside and outside my house have worked favors for me, let me tell you. It's done a lot of favors for me. You know.
Mother that she had was getting overwhelmed that she was turning 40, wanted to be a normal person. We went to Thursday night in the park over here. She ran into some old friends, everyone was drinking, and then we went over and had a cocktail, or a mocktail, but she ordered a real one, and that's when it all really started in my world.
Okay.
And then it went downhill from there. She's been...
always the wife listening to the stupid friends and putting her in those situations. She needs better friends, but she won't get that. It's a lot of the friends, like the red pill in that talks about ladies and gents, but gentlemen especially, pay attention to their friends. If they're losers, alcoholics, drink too much in that, this goes for both, but mostly the women. Avoid them because they're not going to help you get through a heartful, fruitful relationship. Get better people in your life. Even if they seem cool and well, they're going to be a detriment to your really nice relationship and your man's. Or for the man, if you are dating a girl that has really bad girlfriends that encourage her to do stupid stuff and risk the relationship, give her... Don't be like her parents, say, I'm not your father, I'm not that. You could do what you want, but if you and your girlfriends are going to party a lot and that, I don't date or commit to girls that go to bars, drink too much, have a lot of girls' trips, especially without you, because that's a big red flag. Especially when you're not knowing what's going on, you get cheated on and she's playing being single while you're in a relationship. As they say, you're paying full price for a car that's not really seeming like your car, as they say. You don't want to deal with all that drama. And you don't want her making a fool out of you. And vice versa. The guy having loser friends, not improving in their lives, and not having him be motivated to make more money and live a more fruitful and better life. If he's being a loser, you don't want nothing to do with that either. Really think and vet somebody before you go ahead and have a long-term commitment or relationship if you're the monogamous type.
I found some bottles of vodka.
Don't let your significant other make a fool out of you.
Going back to this list, so you obviously had injuries on you.
It's clear as day to the officers that his wife, Lisa, is the aggressor in this incident. Not only is there enough evidence to support the husband's claims, but the fact that she left out the story about the wine entirely sealed her fate.
Lisa?
Yes.
Okay. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So this is my area. I'm the reporting officer, so I know you probably already told them what happened, but I need you to tell me again. Okay.
Yeah, I was at home alone today, and then my husband came home and got upset. I do not know why, even though I know that's
Yeah, you do, you little liar.
Hit the right eye as hard as possible. Okay, so I called my parents just to get some mercy, and then he decided to call.
Okay. Was there anything else that happened that you're leaving out? Okay.
No.
Okay. So what about the wine, the bottle of wine and the cup full of wine?
Oh, that's not true.
Well, I mean, there's wine all over the counter, and there's an empty bottle of wine. He's got a cut on his face where he said that you jabbed a cup into his face.
I didn't jab a cup into his face.
Okay, so why would he have a cut on his upper lip?
My husband drinks a lot.
Okay. How did he, you said he hit you in the face. How did he hit you?
Open palm to the right eye.
Okay, with which hand? Which hand?
I believe it was, I guess it would have been his left hand in my right eye.
Okay, so what happened after that?
I called my parents immediately and just said I want to get out of here to be in a safe space.
Nano Banana Pro is...
All right, did he hit you anywhere else?
Not today.
Okay. All right, can you do me a favor, turn around, put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest for domestic battery.
What?
Hold on.
Can you just tell me?
So she wants to tell you she can, but we can't.
Can I take a picture of the hall? You should turn it around. I'm arrested for domestic battery. He's not being arrested? That's what he wanted, no doubt. That's what he wanted. So can I ask you?
Yeah, of course that's what he wanted, because your daughter cannot control herself and be a civilized, normal human being, and instead of, defending her, you should feel bad for the husband and say, if you're a real mother who actually cares about her and who doesn't get manipulated by your stupid daughter and not being such a coddling figure and taking it all out on the husband, you should embarrass her and tell her, you really gotta stop fucking things up, you idiot. This is what happens, and you know what? I hope you've learned a thing or two in jail, because I'm not gonna bail you out and you keep ruining your life. You gotta sort your freaking life out, you idiot.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, we're gonna go in the car first, though, okay?
Could I ask you a question?
No, you cannot ask me a question.
How is... I don't know how...
All right, so have a seat for me, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
How did this happen?
So right now, based on the circumstances, you're leaving out parts of the story that are very obviously true to me, that where there's wine involved and that you had been drinking. He's got obvious signs of injury on him, and you've got signs of injury that appear to be healing already, but it doesn't appear that this happened to me today. He told me that you were in the hospital before and had to be strapped down. Oh, that's what the bruising is caused from all the IVs in your arm. So
this is the third time that I've been in trouble for getting hit.
Okay. And that's also taken into account, like all the previous issues, okay? However, given the circumstances, somebody has to go to jail. There's obvious signs of injury. I don't have a choice. I'm mandated by the state of Illinois to make an arrest.
Oh, it is in Illinois. I heard. See, Dundee, I had to go there when I was on a road trip. Small little town in Illinois. It's not so perfect, but there was a gun store or so my uncle liked going there, apparently. They had a lot of different type of amazing guns when he used to be a big-time collector. I never went. I only had to pass through there on times when I went on a road trip.
The state says we have to do. So what's going to happen from here? You're going to go back to the station, you're going to be processed, and you're going to be transported to the DuPage County Jail. All right, you'll see a pretrial judge in the morning. If there's any previous...
Please don't put me in jail overnight.
Unfortunately,
Can you put my handcuffs at least in front? I get very freaked out.
We're going back to the station right now. Okay, it's like 3 blocks away, and then I'm going to take the handcuffs off you when we get there, all right? Okay. But for now, they have to stay in the back while in the car. It's just policy, okay? All right, so give me a few minutes, all right? We'll be on the way.
In the end, Lisa was arrested and charged with domestic battery, and as a result, had to spend the night in jail.
The mother probably bailed her out and not actually teach her a valuable lesson not to be a loser. Alright, I think we'll end this off on one more video. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Ooh, this is something. I don't think I've seen this one. Hold on a second. Gotta go through the annoying ads. Okay. YYZ Bodycam, that's a new channel. Listen, I will be right back. Excuse me just a minute, nomads. Appreciate your patience. I am back.
9th, 2025. Officers responded to a residence regarding a domestic disturbance.
That right.
Where's she at? Sit by her, okay? Sit by her, man. You got any dogs or anything?
Taylor, she's nice.
Do you want me to take him to the car? Hi, pup.
Here, sweetie.
Step out there.
No.
For a second. Okay, what's going on? I got you. Anybody else in the house, man?
He's a crybaby that likes to cheat on me.
Stop. What's going on?
Poor dude. He brought it upon himself, though, dating her. You know, I kind of like this, but I've been told through the grapevine, and I didn't have personal experiences with this, but a friend of mine did, and he said he dated a girl who had a Medusa tattoo, except it was not on the left arm, on the right arm, and apparently girls with Medusa tattoos kind of are red flags. He told me she was hella gaslighting, toxic, and even tried to smack him a few times. Or one time she actually did, but it hit him in the neck instead of the face. And he broke off with her right away after I told her, bro, what the hell are you doing? Then dump her, you idiot. Luckily, he listened. With men, we need a little bit of tough love to snap us out of it. He was hypnotized a little bit by her punani, but luckily, he didn't end up moving with her. They were going on that track where they were going to move in together. Luckily, they didn't, and she probably pushed for that because the place she was staying at apparently sucked, and she never really cleaned up or took care of herself. Now, that's a big red flag.
What's your dog up, sir? I'll get bit. Hey, nothing. Listen, stop. What's going on today? You can step in there and talk to him. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm not going to ask you again. Chill out. What's going on?
I'm not doing nothing. I'm standing in my front door.
Okay, but what's going on? Hey, stop.
Stop grabbing me.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. She knows she was guilty, though.
Absolutely not. Yep.
Imagine walking on that hot street barefooted.
Alright, man.
That's karma, I guess.
Do you want EMS?
No, it's
anything?
just a little
medical?
nick. She was just swinging and it barely nicked me.
You kind of...
Yeah.
So...
I was trying to go for the arm. I'd rather charge a gun than a knife.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she just got me a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, let me... Did she get you anywhere else, or just...
Not that I know of.
Okay. You care? Here, turn around. I'm gonna just double check, make sure. Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take a picture of that real quick.
Sorry, I'm shaking.
You're fine, man. Alrighty, so from the very beginning.
Woke up.
Whenever.
Took
Okay.
a piss.
Okay.
Apparently she went through my phone. I have a contact, Jay. I have a friend named Jay. She deleted every single female on my phone.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I had to do the same thing just because, given the same treatment she was giving me.
Yeah.
Woke up, went to go piss.
You shouldn't let that happen to begin with. Some girls starts deleting messages on your phone from that. Like, nah, on your phone, acting that way, that's a big red flag. I would say, okay, you're done, out. I never dealt with that, but if I did, I'm calling it there. Get the hell out of my house and get the hell away from me. We're done.
Saying, who the is Jay? This is Jasmine. This is Jasmine. I'm like, I don't know. You deleted her off my phone. I do have a buddy named Jay.
Okay.
She called. My buddy didn't answer. His girl answered. And so she freaked out. And she said, I told you. Grab the knife from in there. And then I tried calling you guys once. And I was like, no, I'm just going to call her mom. her mom was like, "Can you text me?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"If she's got a knife, I'm just gonna call the cops."
Yeah. Yeah.
Her mom usually can calm her down, but she was a knife and
Yeah. No, you did the right thing. 100%. You did the right thing. So.
You want us to pursue charges on her for this?
No, she just needs to get back on the meds.
So you don't want to pursue charges for her stabbing you?
I mean, it's a little Nick. I'm not.
It's up to you, man. Hey, it's anyone to contact. It does not matter.
Yeah.
I mean, she's going to jail regardless. She fought one of our officers. She's going to jail.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it's if you want to pursue charges against her. Completely up to you.
No.
Oh my goodness, these cucks and simps. It's like, bro, just say yes. I can understand if it's a big court thing, then I could see, but still, you want her away from you. At least put her on a restraining order. Like, my guy, no. Some people, man, some dudes are just too freaking stupid.
Let her deal with that. I just need as a witness. I mean, I can't. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna hit a girl.
Well, that's what I know.
Crazy. I mean,
I'm not. I'll be honest. I haven't been on too long, but I do know that that's it for now.
Yeah. No,
is this the first time she's ever done anything like this?
I have pictures on my phone of her on my face. That was the first time I should have called you guys. I was like, I'm just gonna call her mom.
So there's.
It was a bigger one than that, but yeah, I didn't know that one was in there too. I bet it's between the bed and the wall.
So there's a history of this.
Yeah,
I've heard
she is
doing this.
Not with just me, but with the other dudes and
other dudes.
Yeah, I guess I just got tired of it.
And then are you guys dating or?
Dating.
Okay. How long have you guys been dating?
Since like Super Bowl of last year.
Okay.
Of this year, actually.
Okay.
So not that long, and it's been literally it's been on and off because of her wanting to fight and just.
You should know better than that, my
dude.
does
she live here too?
Yeah, that's her room.
Okay.
She has a roommate, Jared, who also helps pay out the rent. He's in St. Louis. He's like an electrician right now. He comes here.
I get that.
Few days.
Did dispatch get your information and everything?
I don't think so. I was just too busy on the phone with you guys.
No, I get it. 100%, man.
That's Caitlin Hopper, right?
Yeah, that's Caitlin.
Okay. How long have you been dating?
Since like it's been literally on and off. This is probably the 8th
since Super Bowl.
Of like February, whenever the Super Bowl was.
All right. What's your name and date of birth?
It's just a little neck.
Oh. Wow.
Marion 18, I got one by name and date of birth.
I mean, she just. I don't think we'll grab it.
Do you want to go to the hospital?
No, I'm fine.
So like a actual chef's knife is what it looks like?
Yeah, it's like a miniature chef knife.
Yeah,
it's
what colors, you remember?
Black and silver, just like that one, but it's the blade is a little bit thicker.
Your tetanus up to date?
I wasn't too sure. Last time I got my tetanus shot was in the Army, and that was in 2019, I think.
So where exactly did it happen? Did it happen?
It happened literally right here.
Okay, kind of in the hallway?
Yeah, right here is whenever she actually started swinging, and then you're right there, and that's whenever I tried to grab her hand and she got my pinky.
So she was back where you are, and you were where I am?
Here. She was right where you're at, and I was trying to walk out, calling the phone. Well, she had my phone, was threw it at the wall, and I grabbed it, and then she grabbed the knife, and yeah.
Okay, so you were back there, walking out, and she was right here.
Any girl who comes at you with a knife and acting that toxic like a yandere, get the hell out of that situation, by the way, and definitely get cops involved. Very dangerous situation. Learn from people that dealt with that, man.
Rough time frame, you know, when the yelling started, when...
literally within 5 minutes of me calling you guys. I called you guys the first time. That was immediately when it started happening, because I'm not dealing with the knife. Then I called her mom. Her mom didn't answer twice, then I called you guys again.
All right.
Yeah,
I think we got all we need.
What kind of car does your mom drive?
Alexis.
Alexis? Okay. There's a white Chrysler out here. One sec.
And then what does... I'm sorry, do you want to press charges on that?
Yeah, she can do it with assault on a cop. I'll be fine with a little pinky.
All right.
All right, man.
That works.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Take care.
The suspect was charged with battery. Thanks for watching today's video. If you haven't yet, please be...
W. Okay, I wanted to react a couple more to this, but I think this was a good stream. A lot of good ground is covered. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I will catch everybody next time. I got more stuff I want to react to and whatnot, so stay tuned for that. Also stay tuned for the 7 days when Resident Evil drops. And I will catch everybody next time. Have a good one all. Peace.